ABC Sport. In 1984, from Sarajevo, Yugoslavia to Los Angeles, California, the ABC Olympic tradition continues.
There can be no doubt that one of the great players in the game of pro football today is quarterback Joe Theismann of the Washington Redskins. This past season, the Little General led the Redskins to their second consecutive Super Bowl. He did it with shots like this to speedy Charlie Brown. The Redskins rolling to a 14-2 regular season record, the most wins ever by an NFC club. And they scored 541 points, setting an NFL single-season scoring record. The 83 NFL season also provided the stage for one of the most remarkable rookie performances the league has ever witnessed. Eric Dickerson brought All-American credentials from SMU to the Los Angeles Rams, but even the most knowledgeable of pro football fans were stunned by his incredible performances week after week. Using size and speed, Dickerson topped the rookie rushing record and led the NFL's finest with a season total of 1,808 yards. And while the rookie Dickerson was running wild, one of the game's veterans, Dan Fouts of the San Diego Chargers, played his way through an injury-troubled season. But when Dan was right, the Chargers were right. And the quiet one, who lets his arm do the talking, continued to add to his ever-growing list of NFL records, connecting with his talented receivers, led by the game's premier tight end, Kellen Winslow. These are just a few of the All-Stars who have gathered in Honolulu once again for the annual Pro Bowl. The best of the NFC against the best of the AFC, and you'll see it today live on Wide World of Sports.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. By Gillette Atra Razor, the twin blade razor that pivots for a close, comfortable shave.
There are few more beautiful sights than the beach at Waikiki on the island of Oahu here in Honolulu, Hawaii. The surf gently rolling in. You can come and just look at the lovely sights, the sunrises, the sunsets, or you can take part in all the activities. Some of the most beautiful hotels in the world line this beach. And if you're going to play a football game in January, well, you might as well play it in Honolulu. You're looking at Aloha Stadium. It's sold out today for the 14th meeting of the AFC All-Stars against the NFC All-Stars. 40 of the best from each National Football League conference. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford. I'll be working with O.J. and Lynn Swan, and the three of us have romped around at a few of these Pro Bowls, and it's kind of a special game, Juice.
Yes, Frank, it is special. The honor of being here, being elected by your peers, you know. You come here, you get to socialize with all the other All-Pros. You get a little full of yourself. You know, hey, I'm an All-Pro. But an interesting thing happened, and it happened about a half hour ago, and I'm sure you experienced it, Frank. All of a sudden, you realize, hey, I got to play a football game, you know, and many of these guys haven't been hit or played in a game in over a month. So it should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of nervous players down there. The coaches say they're going to open it up. Chuck Knox, they're going to be a little surprised. I watched the FC practice this week, and they've tried everything. I mean, reverses, handoffs, I mean, slide patterns. It's going to be wide open. It should be a lot of fun.
All right, and Lynn Swan will be reporting throughout the game. He's behind the bench right now. Let's go to Lynn, who's played in a few of these games. Take it away, Lynn.
Thank you, Frank. Whenever the 80 best in the year get together for the Pro Bowl, two things happen. One, during the week of practice, they're testing each other, showing the other ball players what they can do. They want to find out if a Lester Hayes is that talented. Well, how talented? The young ball players who've only been in the Pro Bowl for the first time or maybe two times want to gain the respect of the older ball players. The second thing that happens is they talk and they trade information. And this year, the information going back and forth is about contracts. Renegotiating a contract has always been something that's been frowned on, but because of the new trend in football contracts, signing the future ball players to the other leagues, more teams are now renegotiating, trying to get the ball players signed, and here during the week, they're looking for details. It should be exciting. What they're after now in terms of dollars and cents is $10,000 for the winner, $5,000 for the loser, Frank.
Thank you, Lynn. And on that economic report, I guess I should have asked Lynn if he plans to make a comeback down on the field. In the blue jerseys will be the NFC. The winners last year in a close one, 20-19 over the AFC. They have positioned themselves to receive the kickoff. And the dangerous return man, Billy Johnson of Atlanta, is back there. Had a tremendous comeback over the past 2 years with Atlanta. Great years. Prior to that at Houston and a couple of years at Canada. And the man who will be putting the ball into play for the AFC, Gary Anderson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We are set to go, and O.J. hit it right on the head. All of a sudden, these all-stars who have been having a lot of fun here for a week, they realize now the hitting is going to start. Billy Johnson from the 7-yard line. Johnson out over the 35, and keep in mind, on special teams, a lot of these players have never played on some of these units, particularly the newcomers here to the Pro Bowl for the first time. The stars usually don't get involved. They are today. Here's Joe Theismann. He opens the quarterback. 60%, had a great year. 29 touchdowns, over 3,700 yards. Firing those quick, safe shots that head coach Joe Gibbs instilled into the Redskins offense. And, of course, fresh off his second consecutive Super Bowl, the loss there to the Los Angeles Raiders. On first down, Theismann back, fires a shot. And it's James Lofton, the great wide receiver for Green Bay. Up close to midfield, first down NFC. And we do not have the name, but last night, Beverly Lofton gave James Lofton his first little error.
Yeah, the name of the baby is David, and he was 9 pounds, 8 ounces. Good, healthy boy. They were married here a few years ago, and they decided to come over here and have their kids because of the Pro Bowl. Because James would be here
9
anyway.
9 pounds, 8 ounces. There's a future all-star. Right at midfield, first down the NFC, the quick toss. This is William Andrews, and Andrews breaks the tackle inside the 40-yard line for another first down, taken there by Lester Hayes. And let's take a look at the defensive unit. It'll be shuffling out throughout the day, but there they are. They are required by rules to play a 4-3, so we have people really like Smirlis playing out of position. He's a nose tackle. The linebackers, Jack Lambert, in his 9th consecutive Pro Bowl, now in his 10th year. And what great secondary people we have. Gary Green back for his 2nd Pro Bowl. Lester Hayes, one of the best, if not the best, also out there in the corner for the AFC number 37. First down and 10, the NFC. Inside the 40-yard line of the AFC, Dickerson gets the handoff on a quick draw and explodes as he does so well, O.J., to the 30-yard line. A gain of 8, it'll be 2nd and 2.
Well, he has the eyes. He can run anywhere. But one thing you notice, they're having an easy time running right now. And one of the reasons is, as you pointed out, the defensive line is used to playing 3-down linemen, and there's only one guy right now in there for the AFC, and that's Howie Long, that is accustomed to playing 4-down linemen.
So true, and it's going to make a difference. Also, they are not allowed to blitz except on 3rd and short. 3rd and short means 3 yards or less.
That'll change late in the game.
Oh, you betcha it will. 2nd down, less than 2 yards to go for the NFC. Theismann is back. Fires it complete, and it goes out to Roy Green, the St. Louis Cardinal, the versatile athlete who collected 78 receptions this year for the Cardinals, and the NFC continues to roll following the opening kickoff. They have a first down at the 22.
Well, you'll take a look at it right here. He's being covered by Gary Green. He just ran a simple out pattern. Actually, it's not a rule here that the defensive backs have to give the guys the inside, but I think the coaches agreed to let them have the inside to try to open the game up and make it a little more fun to watch.
The only zone you can use is a strong side roll. That means to the tight end. Dickerson again on first down. He is dumped, hit hard quickly by Mark Gastineau of the New York Jets, who led the entire NFL in sacks. And there is another fine athlete. He can move so quickly and so well, O.J.
Yes, he sure can. He got a little heat this year. They say he didn't play the run too well, but he played it about as well as you can play it on that play.
If you played any better, let me know about it. 4-yard loss for Dickerson. Back close to the 25-yard line. Pair of tight ends are in now. And now Kaufman checks out, and Cosby is in there of the Cowboys. 2nd down and 14. Theismann takes the draw, dumps it underneath. Andrews goes down. Taken there by Chip Banks, former All-American from USC and a great Cleveland Brownie.
Now look at William Andrews. I mean, I think he's one of the great backs that ever played this game. Certainly one of the great competitors. He's been over 2,000 yards combined, pass, receiving, and running twice, and there's only one other back that's ever done that.
I'm sitting right next to him.
59 receptions this year for a guy who you consider a power back.
He does it so well. He actually had the top average per carry, William Andrews, in the NFC. More per carry than Dickerson. It's 3rd down and 8, and Theismann is back rolling, firing a shot. A man is wide open, down near the 5-yard line, and it's Roy Green. Goes up, brings it down. It'll be first down, goal to go. He was working once again against Gary Green, and keep in mind, again, this man-to-man coverage is highly unusual for many of these players.
And once again, they've really penalized the cornerbacks. They say you can't take away the inside, and I think these guys are just not comfortable with that. After a couple of plays, you'll notice they'll be bumping them a little sooner.
Watch Green here drive to the inside now. Gary Green goes right with him. And out to the outside is Roy Green. First down, goal to go near the 7-yard line. We'll get Andrews and Payton in there as setbacks for the NFC. Payton's first appearance. Of course, the great Chicago Bear that is drawing close to Jimmy Brown as the all-time NFL rusher. Cosby, and a good tackle by Kenny Easley. And one thing Kenny Easley can do, he can give you a pop.
Oh, he can hit. He's 206 pounds. He was a 3-time All-American at UCLA, and he's had a whole career of plays like that.
Have some laundry down now. First flag of the game has been dropped, and the NFC is walking away from the line of scrimmage, so it appears that it will work against the National Football Conference, and indeed it does, as Jerry Seaman marks it off, and he'll tell us about it.
Holding, number 76, offense.
Mike Ken of Atlanta over the left side detected holding, and that moves the NFC back to the 17-yard line. Down remains the same. This first down, goal to go. We run down the list of names that are available to Bill Walsh as running backs. Dickerson, William Andrews, Walter Payton, Tony Dorsett. And they're all here for the Pro Bowl. On first and goal to go. Theisman screen, Dickerson. Lambert couldn't get there, and Dickerson, however, is forced out of bounds inside the 10 near the 8-yard line, where it will be second down, goal to go.
You saw Eric do something there that he probably does as well as anyone. He just outran the pursuit. I don't think any guy turned the corner as well as Eric Dickerson. He has that overdrive. A lot of players here would try to cut up under Lambert, but he has that goodbye speed, and he just turned the corner on him.
And he's big, too, Eric Dickerson, up there around 220 pounds, 225 perhaps. Not to mention, quite talented. Second down, goal to go. Quick count by Theisman. Dickerson hit. Fine tackle, Rod Martin. Many think Rod Martin was the defensive player of the year in the NFL rather than just the AFC. He had a tremendous year, Rod Martin, number 54 of the Raiders.
Led the Raiders in tackles. He's done that about 3 of the last 4 years, so there's nothing new for Rod. This is the first time the league, I think, appreciated his talents and got him in the game here.
Plays a very cerebral game. Lawrence Taylor, perhaps just a wild, emotional game, but they play much alike, and they have just about the same kind of stats in terms of sacks and interceptions and tackles. This third down and goal to go. Theisman floods his backs to the right. Has a lot of time. Finally checks it off. Gets it to Kaufman, the tight end of Green Bay. And Kaufman gets about 3 yards to the 6-yard line, where it will bring up a fourth down for the NFC.
You saw him tackled there by Deron Sherry, who was the first year he started at Kansas City, and he became an All-Pro. Gary Green, as we know, is in Kansas City. He's an All-Pro. Last year, they had a guy playing in Sherry's position named Gary Barbaro, who was an All-Pro. So Bud Carson must be doing a heck of a job of coaching the defensive backs there in Kansas City.
Sherry eased the loss, of course, of Barbaro by turning into an All-Pro. We're going to look at Ali Haji-Sheikh of the Giants. Set a new NFL standard with 35 field goals this year, one more than Jim Turner, and he's successful from 23 yards out. As the NFC took the opening kickoff, they used just a little over 4.5 minutes. They get 3 points.
In every Olympic event, there are moments to hold forever, forever in steps. Feel the power of the pounding hearts, forever in steps. Yours is the magic to hold. Share the triumph, share the hope, forever in steps.
This is one winter I'll never forget.
The memories are waiting in the new Winter Olympic stacks at the post office.
Spend $13,000 for a Volkswagen and get the fully equipped, German-engineered Quantum. Or spend the same thing on another European Grand Touring sedan and get something like this. Or, this. Or even this. All of which would lead you back to this, Quantum. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen.
the Aloha Bowl in Honolulu, the NFC scores first. The AFC still has not had a possession. Greg Pruitt of the Raiders has dropped to the goal line to await the kickoff of Ali Haji-Sheikh. Greg Pruitt, a very versatile performer. He was here as a return man back in 1973. He's back this year, and here he comes. Pruitt out to the 24-yard line, hit there by Dwight Hicks of the NFC. And let's take a look at the offensive starting unit. They were all voted as starters except the man you're going to look at right here, Dan Fouts. Dan Marino of Miami was voted as a starter with a knee injury. He could not be here, so Fouts opens, co-MVP of last year's game. And there are your other people. Kurt Warner,
Oh, boy.
out of Penn State. What a year he had for Seattle. Earl Campbell. Well, if you play with a team that won 2 games and gained 1,300 yards, you must be okay. And they'll run behind that offensive unit. First down and 10. Ball at the 25-yard line for the AFC. Fouts doesn't fool around. He'll put it in the air quickly. Goes over the middle. Gets it complete to Todd Christensen, who led the entire NFL last year with 92 receptions. Let's take a look at the defensive unit. We'll watch open the game for the NFC. And they have some fine folks in there. Ed Jones and Randy White, of course, from the Cowboys. Linebackers, how about that? Hugh Green on one side, Lawrence Taylor on the other, and Mike Singletary of the Bears has really turned into a fine middle linebacker. He plays that spot a lot for the Bears. And, of course, Ronnie Lott and Everson Walls on the corners. Second down and 5. Earl Campbell wearing number 35 in deference to the 11-year career of Greg Pruitt, who wears that number. And, of course, they announced yesterday the new members of the Hall of Fame to bring that illustrious count to 123 at Canton, Ohio. Willie Brown, Mike McCormick, Charlie Taylor, Arnie Weinmeister, an old teammate of mine many, many years ago. And we'll have a word from each of them with Lynn Swan during the course of the game. Earl Campbell came up about a yard short of the first down, just inside the 35-yard line. O.J., how many of these you play in?
I played in 5, and I had the pleasure to play in the last AFL All-Star game before they started this interleague game.
Then he had a few. I had a few. I can always tell you it was a lot of fun to be here. Campbell once again. Big hole over the right side, and Campbell just pops through it out to the 40-yard line for an AFC first down. Hit by Mark Murphy, the free safety from the Redskins, and Ronnie Lott. A pair of defensive backs that'll really put the shoulder to you.
It's always interesting playing in a game like this because you start the game, you want to play well because you know your teammates are watching, but it's hard to play with that intensity. Well, you see Earl Campbell come at you a few times. I think he'll get it up pretty quick.
Two head coaches, of course, they were the runner-ups in each conference. Bill Walsh of the 49ers lost to the Redskins, and Chuck Knox in a great first year with Seattle took them all the way to the AFC Championship with the Raiders, where they lost. At the 41-yard line, Dan Fouts, little quick pitch action. He has a man open, Collinsworth, but he overthrows. So that'll bring up second down and 10.
I think Ronnie Lott got away with a little something there. He was beaten about 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. I think he gave him a little tug. Looked like Chris was about to take off from him, and I think Ronnie gave him a little tug.
Competitive players I've ever known, Ronnie Lott. O.J., he'll win any way he can. And he will really put on the hit from that cornerback position.
I tell you, we had a lot of fun in L.A. watching Kenny Easley over at UCLA for 3 years play safety, and Ronnie Lott play safety at USC.
Well, they gave a lot of headaches out. Dan Fouts looks over the 4-3 on a second down and 10. Again, there is one zone you can use, a strong side roll. The AFC goes with the draw. They work Earl Campbell up to about the 44-yard line. Give him about 3. That will bring up a third down and 7. Not bad, though, Jay, when you can look around and see Kurt Warner, Earl Campbell, and when they're not in there, Tony Collins and Joe Cribbs can come in. What talent.
Yeah, pretty difficult to make a mistake as to who you want to get a ball to. Every one of these guys can take it all the way.
Here's Dan Fouts looking over the 3rd and 7. Joe Cribbs, a fine receiver out of the backfield. He's in there now at setback. Fouts is going to go down. Fouts collects the sack from Ed Jones, and the first sack of the ball game will force the AFC punting unit onto the field. A loss all the way back to the 35-yard line. Ed Jones, now in his 9th year, playing in his 3rd Pro Bowl.
You watch him on the left side of your screen. He did a little stunt. He came down the line of scrimmage. That's Dwight Stevenson that tried to pick him up, didn't quite make it.
He covers a big area when he gets in there, leaps in the air, spreads out those long arms. He's 6'9", 275 pounds.
I tell you something, in a normal game, Stevenson may have cut too tall on that play, but the guys realize this is a Pro Bowl and they don't want to see a guy get hurt, and he took him up high and he just didn't have the size to handle it.
With a $5,000 difference, that might change in the fourth quarter. $10,000 to the winning player and coaches, $5,000 to the losing players and coaches. Rich Camarillo hits it. Billy Johnson takes it at the 24. Billy Johnson still on his feet. Billy Johnson put on quite a show to gain about 5 yards. Lester Hayes made the stop. 42-yard punt, 38-yard scramble with a 3-yard net out of it. The NFC has it back and will be back in a moment.
I crushed a lot of quarterbacks in my day, and I'm real sorry. So I wrote this letter. Dear quarterbacks, I apologize for the way I've treated you. Please let me buy you a light beer from Miller. Light's my beer because it tastes great. I'm sure it's yours, too, because you little guys can't afford to get filled up. Hope to see you soon. Sincerely, L.C. Greenwood.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I hear that L.C. Greenwood has invited quarterbacks to join him for a light beer from Miller. Well, here's my reply. Dear L.C., I accept your gracious offer. A quarterback is far too intelligent to turn down a light beer because it's less filling and it tastes great. Even you big, clumsy linemen know that. Hope to see you soon. Sincerely, Bert Jones. Come on, Bert!
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
How'd he do that?
These are the fastest sports in the Winter Olympics. America's never won a medal in the luge. We haven't won in the bobsled since 1956, but just wait. Starts February 6th on ABC.
A few minutes before kickoff here at the Aloha Bowl in Honolulu, we were experiencing showers. We had had them all morning. The sun, however, is out, and that's going to make quite a difference for the players. Temperature will warm to about 85. NFC 3-0 they lead. First and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Eric Dickerson tries the left side. He gains a couple. It'll be second down and 8. And I mentioned that before newest members to the Hall of Fame were announced last night. Let's meet the first one. Willie Brown out of Grambling. He played 16 years, all of it at all-pro level. 59 career interceptions for Willie Brown, who began his career with Denver and wound up with the Oakland Raiders. And he's on the sidelines. There he is right now. We'll have a chance to visit with him a little later on. One of the truly great players ever to play, and we congratulate him. His induction next July into Canton's Pro Football Hall of Fame. Second down and 8, and out of the backfield, we get Paul Kaufman for a first down to the 37-yard line for the NFC. And Lynn Swan is with Willie Brown on the sideline.
My entire career, I didn't have to play against Willie, and maybe that's fortunate for me. Willie, congratulations on your success. If you had to dream up a career, you played in Super Bowls, you've coached it, and now, after coaching with the Raiders to a Super Bowl victory, you're inducted into the Hall of Fame. Could it be any better?
I don't think so, Lynn. I'm just fortunate enough that I was able to play, in the National Football League. Being a free agent, you never dream of things happening this way, but like I said, I was just fortunate enough that I was played on a good organization. The Oakland Raiders is probably the best organization in all of football, and I played with some of the best players with the Oakland Raiders, so I was just lucky enough to be there.
Well, how football is. As a great player, we're gonna have to go back upstairs and watch that one.
Good. Well, we wouldn't interrupt Willie Brown, one of the great ones of all time, as Joe Theismann connects with the bomb to Mike Quick, working against Lester Hayes, and you don't get behind Lester that often, and when you do, he often catches up. This time, Theismann with a perfect lead shot to Quick. The NFC has a first down near the 12-yard line of the AFC.
Mike Quick has done that all season long, average over 20 yards of reception.
Theismann is 8 of 8. Looking for another. He's in trouble. He goes down. Howie Long was there first. And then Gastineau does his little dance, but he ought to go over and shake hands with Howie Long first.
Yeah.
The sack is all the way back near the 28-yard line. Let's go back in the previous play. Lester Hayes just played him a little too tight.
Yeah, it looked like Lester gave him the inside, and they're not bumping him too much downfield. I think he would have played him differently during the league season. And Mike Quick, as I said, he's a 13-8 high hurdle man, 110 high hurdles, and he's done this all year long. For a guy to catch 69 passes and to average over 20 yards of reception, that's incredible.
And particularly on a team that struggled, as did the Philadelphia Eagles. Second down, a whole bunch of yards to go following the sack out of the backfield. Dickerson stays in bounds, and they'll mark it now at the 21-yard line, a gain of about 7. Ted Hendricks, who is playing in his 8th Pro Bowl, he could have gone all the way back, perhaps, O.J., to when they didn't have a Pro Bowl.
Yes, I played with him a few years. He's a great player. I guess if there's anyone in this game, it's a little debatable if they're here. It's Ted, because he was hurt for much of the season and didn't play an awful lot in Oakland this year. And when you see guys like Lance Mill at home, you sort of wonder a little bit. But the players respect his ability so much that Ted has been doing it so well for so long. I guess they wanted him here.
And it is the players and the coaches who vote these players to the Pro Bowl. Theisman rolling out on third down. Finds Dickerson over the middle. Dickerson will be short of the first down near the 6-yard line, hit by Rod Martin. And we could see Ali Haji-Sheikh once again. Look at it again. Dickerson just coming out of the backfield. He's single setback. And now Theisman rolls right. And a good shot.
Throws back. They have the benefit of having Bill Walsh's passing genius in there working with them, and I'm sure these guys are having a lot of fun. Many of these players playing some pretty conservative offenses.
And it is not conservative at this moment for Bill Walsh, because his 4th down and about 3 for a first down. Actually, closer to 4 for a first down. And the NFC,
you got a
3-0 lead will go.
Oh, I like it.
Walter Payton wide open. And the AFC players are saying he did not hold on to it. And that's how it's going to be ruled. Walter Payton was wide open. Theisman waited just a little too long. He had him the instant he looked at him. He's circling to your right now. He'll come into your picture wide open. Theisman was perfect with the shot. And a good defensive play by Darren Cherry, I think, knocked it out of the hands of Walter Payton.
That was interesting. For a while, it looked like he had it, but I guess they ruled he didn't have control of the ball when he came down.
So the AFC dodges a bit of a bullet there. A 10-0 deficit early in the game could be a little difficult to overcome. There it is right there. You see it in the reverse angle. And again, Cherry got a hand in there and just knocked it loose. Great play by Cherry. Cherry, of course, teaming up with his cornerback teammate, Gary Green, as O.J. mentioned a moment ago. And it helps when you play unusual defenses as they play here today to have a teammate with you.
I may not win every race, but I still have an advantage over these guys. I use the Gillette Atra. They don't. It has the advantage of a pivoting head. Atra is better than twin-blade razors that don't pivot. See? They don't always stay on my beard, but my Atra pivots to keep both blades on my beard longer. So I get a better shave. Close, comfortable.
Get the Gillette Atra and get the Atra advantage.
Hey, everyone can use a little advantage.
Working hard when the heat is on could mean perspiration odor. Right Guard antiperspirant helps stop wetness better than the leading spray, as it kills the bacteria that can cause perspiration odor.
Sunday, beauty is their strength.
You'll do.
Sex their weapon. Amazons.
They love the Pro Bowl here in Honolulu, and the entire state gets involved, from their governor, Governor Ochoa, right on through the Pro Bowl committee. On first down, the AFC, Dan Fouts hits Cris Collinsworth, and Collinsworth reads the first down marker, steps beyond it. First down, AFC, out to the 17-yard line. Hugh Green was there defensively for the NFC. Ooh, what a pair of linebackers. Hugh Green on one side, the great All-American from Pittsburgh, and Lawrence Taylor on the other side.
And as the game goes on, you're going to get the opportunity to see a guy named Ricky Jackson come in and play from New Orleans. And I have some stats for you later on. It's going to be interesting to see how he compares up to those two names Frank just mentioned.
17-yard line is the first down for the AFC. 2:30 remaining in the first quarter, and the AFC down 3-0. Kurt Warner, who did it all and did it all so well for Seattle this year, and Chuck Knox. carrying that team into the AFC Championship against the Raiders and really turning on the city of Seattle, which I mentioned Honolulu loving their football, but they went football bananas up in Seattle this year, and as well they should. They've been struggling ever since their franchise was awarded several years ago. And they pulled it all together this year under Chuck Knox. Warner got a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Both backs out of the backfield, and Fouts has a man wide open. Wes Chandler. Fouts now working with Wes Chandler, one of his teammates, and Kellen Winslow, former MVP of this game back in '82. Here's Chandler. He's wide open, Juice.
Watch him turn Ronnie Lott around here. Gave him a little post move there, and Ronnie turned him completely around.
I'll tell you, when you get the best of the best receivers and defenders, and you don't get a pass rush, I'll tell you who's going to win, and that's going to be the receiver.
I'm going to tell you something else. They tell the corners not to come up and bump the ends, but when you get embarrassed like that a couple of times, you're going to see Ronnie and these other corners coming up. Forget the rules, forget what we agreed upon, and start bumping these guys.
Little de-helmeting, they call it. At the 44-yard line, the AFC on a drive now. 1st down and 10. Fouts flips it back to Warner. And Kurt Warner turns it inside, gets a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Lynn Swan on the sidelines with Walter Payton, who is about ready to hang up one of the all-time marks. Just a few hundred yards now shy of Jim Brown. Lynn?
Walter, you thought you had control of that pass down there.
Well, in this game, Lynn, as soon as you break the plane of a goal line with the ball, with possession, it's supposed to be a touchdown. It doesn't say how long you got to hold it, and I thought I had it long enough.
Well, the referee's decision. One quick question about Jim Brown's record and you playing in Chicago. Will you be there next year?
I'll be in Chicago next year. I would like to end my career in the NFL, but that's entirely left up to the Chicago Bear organizations now.
You heard it direct from Walter.
And Dan Fouts heard it directly from Dave Butts, who's playing today, even though he has been in the sack with a little touch of flu. And Butts is all over Fouts. And, you know, Walter Payton had a point. If he had possession of that ball, that was 6.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at Butts. He's been a little sick, had a little stomach flu. Wasn't able to have his chocolate malt today before the game. The only thing he has before a game. And thus far, like many great champs, you notice how many records are broken by guys who started the morning sick? End up playing one of his better games.
Is that how you pronounce Mai Tai? We've got a 3rd down now and 14 for the AFC. Joe Cribbs in the lineup for the AFC, and I think we'll see Knox using him a lot as a receiver. He's a good one. Fouts. And he was pressured from all sides. Randy White coming in, forcing the move, and Dave Butts was in there once again. So Randy White and Dave Butts at the tackle position for the NFC will force the AFC into the punting situation.
Well, the AFC got a few young guys on that offensive line. Dwight Stevenson, his first Pro Bowl. Chris Hinton, a rookie, his first Pro Bowl. Brian Holloway, his first Pro Bowl. And the NFC is taking advantage of that inexperience in that offensive line.
New England's Rich Camarillo to punt. You saw Billy Johnson back there, Juice. He was counting folks up there. Because as I mentioned, a lot of these all-stars, great players, do not play much on special teams. And Billy wanted to make sure he had enough folks out there. Off the side of Camarillo's foot. Camarillo looking for a big one. Comes up with a short kick to the 44-yard line of the NFC. A 22-yard off-the-foot effort by Rich Camarillo and the NFC. With a 3-0 lead and 3 seconds remaining in the first quarter, will take over at their own 44-yard line.
Before you buy the new Michelin XA4 all-season radio, remember this. Every XA4 has 20 million miles of testing behind it to prove it performs like a snow tire, and like a tire designed for the rain, and like a great handling highway tire, and to prove it keeps on performing mile after mile after mile. After 20 million miles, the Michelin XA4 proved it had nothing left to prove. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Listen to these stuffy noses.
Afrin doesn't have it.
Tristan doesn't have it.
Only Sinex has it. Ooh! That quick feeling of relief from instantly penetrating Vicks vapors, plus a powerful decongestant that opens nasal passages and allows you to breathe freely.
Ah, complete relief.
For hours and hours, Sinex gives you both instant relief and complete relief. Vicks Sinex in regular strength and 12-hour extra strength.
Marlon Starling wants revenge from champ Donald Curry in the WBA World Welterweight Championship live. Plus the inside story on Sugar Ray Leonard's return to the ring on ABC's Wide World of Sports Saturday.
Walter Payton, Tony Dorsett in the lineup for the NFC. First down and 10 at their own 44-yard line.
And you know, Lynn was talking about Walter's options. Walter is sitting on a reputed $6 million offer from the Chicago Blitz to go to the USFL. He would prefer to play in the NFL. He's quite a competitor. I'll tell you something he said about breaking Jim Brown's record, which he's only 600 yards away from after the play.
On first down, Tony Dorsett. And Dorsett up close to an NFC first down in AFC territory at the 46-yard line.
But to finish Payton before here we are at the end of the quarter, you know, Walter said he wanted to break Jim Brown's record in 9 seasons that the 9th season Jim set it in. And unfortunately for him, he had the players strike. That cost him 7 games. And he felt with those 7 games, he would have the 600 yards he needed, and he would have broken the record in 9 seasons.
That's the end of the first quarter from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. The NFC leads the AFC 3-0. We'll be back.
I don't like your face.
Shaving irritates it. I need Ice Blue Aqua Velva.
It turns red-hot razor burn to cool comfort, smooths your face.
Smells great, too.
There's something about an Ice Blue Aqua Velva man.
Grow a beard, huh? Not under my roof. But, Dad, this electric razor is rough on my face.
Try Electric Shave. It sets up your beard so whiskers stand up and your razor glides.
Electric Shave!
Does for an electric razor what leather does for a blade.
Hello, where's my package? My job depends on it.
What is the airable number that it was sent out on? When did you send that out? It should be at the particular company that you sent it to. I can get the information to Fairfield up at Tracy to get the...
In the Air Express business, fast talking is funny for commercials, but sad in real life. At Airborne, we don't talk fast, we move fast. So fast that we make most of our deliveries before 10:30 a.m. No wonder more people are switching to Airborne than ever before. So watch out, Federal. Here comes Airborne.
America's meat and potatoes. McDonald's Quarter Pounder and fries.
All-American beef. Golden crispy fries. From the heartland to the highland, it's the taste that satisfies. From the beef-loving badlands across this country wide, it's meat and potatoes. Quarter Pounder and fries.
America's meat and potatoes. Quarter Pounder and fries.
McDonald's and you.
Since the merger, they played 14 times, the AFC and the NFC. NFC has won 8, AFC has won 5. First down and 10 as we begin the second quarter. Theisman is back for the NFC. Hits Walter Payton over the middle for a gain of about 4 on first down. It'll bring up second down and 6. And one of the great players, Randy Gradishar, was in there on the stop. Randy Gradishar playing in his final football game with great Denver Bronco. First quarter numbers for you. As you can see, totally dominated by the NFC. They took the opening kickoff of the game and had to settle for 3 points, but they used up some 5 minutes in doing so. That time of possession, as you can see, 2 minutes in favor of the NFC in the first quarter. At the 42-yard line of the AFC, NFC now with a single setback. William Andrews, draw play. Andrews goes down in the arms of Bob Baumauer of the Miami Dolphins, but he's inside the 40, short of the first down by a couple. It'll be third down and a long 2.
Well, we're beginning to get a little Hawaiian liquid sunshine here.
There's our mascot, Derek Fisk. He is sitting on a Dallas Cowboy helmet. He's 7 years old, and of course, he is the mascot for the game.
Got a good number there, Tony Dorsett, 33.
Third down, it's a long 2 for the first down, and Hawaiian sunshine has become liquefied, as O.J. mentioned, and this is Mike Quick on the reverse, and Quick gets to the 40-yard line before he's upset, taken down by a good read from Kenny Easley, the strong safety for the AFC. I don't see a flag, but there is a discussion going on between the officials, and now we get the indication of procedure against the AFC. And that could be a violation, perhaps, of the rules that state you cannot blitz. In any event, we'll get it cleared up by Jerry Seaman.
Well, with a sweep going on, I guess you can blitz.
12 men on the field. Defense.
Yeah,
First down.
That's a good way to win.
It helped.
That's going to happen, though, because, as I mentioned earlier, these players usually go the entire game when they're playing for their own team, but they're going to be alternating considerably today. Even though the rain is coming down, the temperature still remains here in Hawaii at around 80, I would suspect, at this moment. So it'll be a little warm. It'll be a little humid. And some of these players who've had a lot of fun this week are going to be losing a few pounds.
Yeah. A little stiff when this one's over.
34-yard line. First down, following the procedure penalty. Mike Quick in motion. Theisman shows the agility. Rolls out, gets it to Dorsett, and Dorsett back close to the 30-yard line, getting a couple of yards out of it.
Yeah, that was Randy Gradishaw that got over there, Frank. It's kind of amazing to see a guy like him. He's led the Denver Broncos in tackling for the last 9 years, and he says he's going to retire this year. And you wonder, how can a guy who's at the top of his game retire with so much money floating around there?
He's an unusual man. He really doesn't care much about it. He said that he wanted to move on. He felt he was at the top of his career. He wanted to leave that game at the very best, and he has played in 153 straight ones, but this is the final one. Second down and 7, and Charlie Brown is open, and teammate Joe Theismann finds him at the 20-yard line for an AFC first down.
Hey, let's take a look at it. It's interesting to see Charlie Brown open. I found one of the more interesting comments after the Super Bowl is his statement that he felt he was open all day long, Frank. Maybe he was open when they were handing the ball off to Ricky. From my point of view, he didn't look like he was open too much in that game.
He was open, so was Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes.
They were right with him.
He was in their pocket. At the 16-yard line, first down, NFC. Theismann again. Dumps it off to Andrews out of the backfield, and William Andrews sprints into the end zone, and the NFC moves out, furthering their lead. 16-yard pickup, and you saw vintage William Andrews. When he gets in traffic, no one, I think, as far back as I can remember, just runs any harder than this man.
No, when I likened him to Larry Brown a few years ago, nobody gives so much of his body to the game. Watch him here. I mean, he's got those strong legs, and he's been doing it all year. Once again, a power back like him, you can see him running the ball, but you don't see him catching 59 passes.
You don't see a whole lot of people wanting to get a hold of him either when he puts the head down. Haji-Sheikh adds the conversion. And the NFC has moved out to a 10-0 lead here in the early moments of the second quarter of this 14th AFC-NFC All-Star game. We'll be right back.
Kleine GTI, die prima aus. Ich liebe die Fahren.
In Germany, people who love high-performance driving drive a Volkswagen GTI more than anything else. Introducing the 1984 GTI. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen.
It's the dawn of a new era in microcomputer technology. The Tandy TRS-80 Model 2000 personal computer from Radio Shack, designed to meet your personal computing needs. It's faster, with higher resolution, more storage, and greater expandability than IBM's PC. Its ultra-high performance gives you the leading edge of Radio Shack's computer technology. The Tandy TRS-80 Model 2000 personal computer, the dawn of a new era in personal computing.
All-Stars all over the area here in Honolulu. Part of the 49,000-plus. NFC set to kick off. Haji-Sheikh will put it in the air, and Greg Pruitt awaits the ball in his own end zone. And having bobbled it, he'll stay in the end zone for the touchback. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. And ordinarily in a Pro Bowl, if they catch it in the end zone, they'll run it out. But when Pruitt couldn't handle it, he decided the wiser part would be to stay there. We'll be right back.
Shots are shot, threads are thin, muffler's gone. Well, come on in, there's more for your life.
it comes time to tuck this rig in for the night, we know just where to park it.
It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
The Pro Bowl in Honolulu with the NFC out on top, 10-0. Early moments of the second quarter, the NFC dominating in ball control possession. This is the 14th such game that has been played between the two conferences. NFC leading 8-5 in that department. Great players, and we are now seeing a quarterback change for the AFC. Bill Kinney, who had a tremendous year this season for Kansas City. He was brought in when Dan Marino could not make it because of his knee. This is Bill Kinney on first down and 10 for the AFC. Fires incomplete, intended for Joe Cribbs coming out of the backfield. On the sidelines, this man, Ralph Benershka of the San Diego Chargers, not playing in the Pro Bowl, but he's here to receive his award as the NFL Man of the Year, of course, annually presented to players in the NFL for not their ability on the field, but their community service. And Ralph Benershka has been involved in so many areas of charitable work in San Diego, and he is the NFL Man of the Year this year. My colleague next to me, O.J. Simpson. Down in the field is Lynn Swan. He was a recipient of that award a few years ago. Second down and 10. This is Tony Collins. And Collins over the left side, taken there by Leroy Selman of Tampa Bay. Tony Collins had himself quite a year too, Juice.
Yes, had one big game, that 212-yard game. What a game that was. You know, even though you have nothing but all-stars down there, I got a feeling if I was going to run a quick pitch, I'd run it away from Leroy Selman.
Well, you go the other way, you can look into the eyes of Ed Jones,
yeah,
or Hugh Green, or Lawrence Taylor. Bill Kinney, over 4,000 yards passing for John Malkovich and the Kansas City Chiefs this year. Now out of the shotgun on third down and 7. Kinney throws a flyer that's going to be picked off. Picked off by Dwight Hicks of the 49ers, and the NFC has the ball back once again, and that must have slipped out of his hand because that ball was reminiscent of a Billy Kilmer pass. It was sort of end over end.
Well, as I said, we've been getting a little of that liquid sunshine down here. It's not that windy on the football field. The ball looked like it just got away from him.
A little moisture, I think, probably coming off the carpet, and he puts a flyer up. You can see it wobbling.
Quack, quack, quack.
And Dwight Hicks comes down with it.
Tough catch for Dwight.
NFC leading 10-0. They have the ball back again. They'll have it at their own 47-yard line as Dwight Hicks of the 49ers gets it back. Hicks, one of the fine ones in that secondary for the 49ers.
Tonight, a hot quarterback shows a hot hand as new improved Old Spice stick deodorant and super dry antiperspirant presents NFL Classics.
Now you owe me $4 million, Dad. $3 million. Want to go double or nothing? Bet you my deodorant's stronger than yours.
Oh, you lose. My deodorant's Old Spice.
And mine's new improved Old Spice.
New improved Old Spice with 25% more odor fighters, extra strong, and lasts all day long. Helps keep you smelling fresh long into the night.
Hey, you're right. That new Old Spice is still working.
New improved Old Spice, extra strong, lasts long.
I owe you $6 million.
8, Dad.
Dan Fouts and the San Diego Chargers have redesigned the record books with the most powerful air attack in NFL history. They did it in exciting big play games, like this 1981 Dazzler with the Raiders, as 5 of the day's 6 touchdown passes went to the brilliant Kellen Winslow, convincing half the league's defensive backs to think seriously about other careers, something a lot easier.
Joe Montana, the 49ers, checked into the lineup for the NFC, replacing Joe Theismann, who has given the NFC a 10-0 lead. There he is. Again, high percentage passer, superb athlete, unbelievable ability to get out of trouble and find the open receiver. Almost brought the 49ers to the Super Bowl when he put together a tremendous comeback late in the game against the Redskins, but they ultimately lost in the closing moments. Montana, first play of the game, and tries to get it to Roy Green. Great defensive effort. Tremendous by Lester Hayes of the Giants, playing in his second consecutive Pro Bowl.
Lester Hayes of the Raiders, he really made one super play on that. He has that closing speed. He gives you a little room, and he just got that closing speed.
I just traded Lester Hayes to the Giants. Of course, Lester Hayes, one of the great ones with the Raiders.
You need to be the Giants GM.
Well, he got him a field goal kicker in the 9th round that set an NFL record. We got a 2nd down and 10.
If you can get him Lester, you got a job.
NFC at their own 47-yard line. Rory Green in motion, and we get the draw play. And Tony Dorsett just erupts over that left side, getting down to the 45-yard line, short of the first down by a couple. One of the surprises we had laid on us here in Honolulu was the announcement yesterday by Bud Grant, who flew here to Honolulu to meet with Minnesota Vikings president Max Winters, and announced that he was giving up coaching after 17 years of guiding the Minnesota Vikings, in which time he took the Vikings 4 times to the Super Bowl, won some 15 titles, 12 divisional championships. We're going to be talking with Bud Grant a little later on, and his successor was announced today, Les Steckel. 3rd down and 2, Montana's back. Fires it complete, and it goes to Cosby of the Cowboys. He's inside the 35-yard line. 1st down, NFC. Cosby really came on late in the going.
He's such a good all-around athlete. He blocks well, he catches well. And Tom Landry said he was the one player he had that he wanted on the field at all times.
And he gave up that shuttling plays in with Billy Joe Dupree. He wanted Cosby out there at all times. Interesting, Cosby came to the Cowboys the same year that they let Todd Christensen go. He wound up leading the league in receiving this past season for the Raiders. On 1st and 10, Montana checks off and goes to Walter Payton. And Payton just back to the line of scrimmage. He maybe got a yard out of it before Rod Martin took him out of bounds near the 32-yard line.
He gave Rod Martin a hello there. You know, Walter has those forearms like Popeye. He can walk around a city block on his hands, and he just gave Rod Martin a pretty good shot there. I think this game is just beginning to heat up a little bit.
You know, Joe, you played behind a great offensive line, even though the record of the Bills when you were piling up your yardage wasn't that good and won and lost. But Walter Payton has been putting together his remarkable record with teams really that were seldom ever 500.
It's always tough when you're changing coaches like that to have that excellence consistently.
2nd and 8 of Montana goes to Tony Dorsett. He's at the line of scrimmage. He might have got a yard. It'll be 3rd down and long once again for Joe Montana. Darren Cherry there defensively for the AFC. Payton once again. He's put together 11,625 career yards in, again, that one season. Strike shortened the year ago when they only played 9 games. And at the moment, he is some 687 yards behind Jim Brown, 325 behind Franco Harris.
Well, Franco's been getting all the ink, but I believe at the end of next season, it'll be Walter Payton with the all-time mark.
And we get a whistle down on the field. And we're going to have timeout by the AFC. And that'll give us an opportunity to talk with the man we were speaking of a moment ago, Bud Grant. Bud, we're glad you could come and join us for just a few moments. And I think you said it rather succinctly to just about everyone. You've been coaching for 17 years with the Vikings, and you're going to move on and enjoy some of the recreational things in life. That's just about it.
Well, that's about as simply as you can say it. Football is kind of a one-dimensional sport, as you know, and you're on a treadmill for 6 months at a time, and it doesn't allow you the opportunities to do some of the things that you might like to do in a lifetime. I've had a lifetime of sports, 35 years in professional sports. Maybe there's some of the later years I like to do some of the things that football has prevented me from doing, although I've enjoyed football right down to the last minute.
You know, it's hard to read you sometimes, Bud. You've had a remarkable career. I mentioned the 4 Super Bowls, the 15 championships, but I know you thought about this rather deeply. Are you going to miss it?
I think I will, but I'm active enough that I think I can get over that in a hurry.
I think you can, too. There's a lot of deer and a lot of ducks out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish swimming, a lot of places I like to go.
All right, Bud, we appreciate you coming by. We wish you well. I understand you will be staying with the Vikings in some capacity. But again, we've enjoyed watching you play, and watching you coach. And right now, we're watching Joe Montana. 3rd down and 8, and this is what he does well. He comes up short of the 1st down at the 25-yard line. But you have an idea of what your capacity will be when you stay on with the Vikings.
You know, most coaches get fired and have a year left in their contract and get paid. They've kind of reversed that. I've retired and they've given me a year. They'll work something out where I'll be able to have some input, although not certainly in the coaching area.
You've given so much to them, Bud. That's certainly understandable. Les Steckel, did you have a hand in choosing him?
Well, they asked my opinion, and I certainly seconded theirs and said I don't think you could find a man more qualified within the organization to maintain the traditions of the Vikings and not have the upheaval that you see when many coaches and staffs leave.
I can ask you one more question, Bud. You're a traditionalist in many respects. The game has changed remarkably, and all the problems that have been involved. Did that have anything to do with your decision?
Absolutely not. I think the players you see out here today are certainly more skilled than they might have been in the past.
And that was Tony Dorsett, who coming up,
one of the most skilled players
on the fourth down. I'm sure that a Bud Grant would have gone there.
Oh, I'm sure we all would have. But the players today are, you know, the hearts are no bigger, but the bodies are. And they're just playing better football than they have in the past because of the training they get and the fact that they aspire to be professional football players from 8 years old on.
But again, thank you for stopping by. We wish you well, and I know we'll be seeing you in the years to come.
Thanks, Frank.
Bud Grant leaving the Minnesota Vikings after 17 years, and you saw Tony Dorsett coming up short for the NFC, the AFC, as a 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Morning to you. Time for the early morning.
You're looking at a new breed of athlete. It isn't easy keeping in shape, but Don Gwaltney isn't doing this just for his health. He's doing it for money. The money he's saving on his insurance with all states Shape Up and Save rates and discounts. We figure if you're in better shape, you're a better risk, and you deserve a better rate on your insurance. So if you keep yourself in shape, you could save up to 35% on all-state life insurance. Keep a safe driving record and save on auto insurance. You can even save up to 15% on homeowners insurance by keeping your house well protected. All states Shape Up and Save discounts really add up, and you probably qualify for one already.
Shape up and save.
It pays to talk to an Allstate agent.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Tuesday, Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner are caught in the crossfire on Heart to Heart.
The NFC, they went for a 1st down on a 4th and 1. Great effort by Chip Banks of the Cleveland Browns. Stopped Tony Dorsett. The AFC down 10-0 with 8:33 remaining in the half. Has the ball back at their own 27-yard line. And movement on the left side by Doug English. And here comes Tony Collins. And Collins, 1st down yardage, but the flag is down. And unless Doug English was drawn offside, we're going to have an AFC 1st down.
Well, that was Cribbs running the ball. I think Collins may have moved a little bit in the backfield. He was lined up in the fullback position, but we'll find out in a second here.
And here is Jerry Seaman. 1st down. They'll keep the yardage. Doug English offside. And we mentioned that Bud Grant is leaving the Vikings, and right now you're looking at the very youthful face of Les Steckel, who has been quarterback and receiver coach, I guess, for Bud since 1979. Les, congratulations. Big shoes. What do you think?
Well, obviously, it was a shock to all of us Friday, and replacing Bud I can't do, but follow him and continue the Viking tradition. I look forward to the challenge.
We had an opportunity to watch many coaches, particularly one Bart Starr, trying to follow Vince Lombardi as once again Bill Kinney goes deep. Scramble for the ball to 15. It'll be incomplete. But if you thought about that, Les, replacing somebody like Bud Grant, you're really replacing a legend.
Yeah, I really am, and I recognize it's a tremendous challenge, but as Bud said, he's retiring, but I have other plans as well. He's going to be right there in the office, being a consultant to the team, and I'm fortunate to have a man with his background and experience to lean on and to certainly have a lot of advice to get from him.
I'm sure you'll have to squeeze it out of him. Les, good luck to you, and again, you received high words from my colleague on my writer, O.J. Simpson, whom you were with the 49ers a few years ago.
Well, I've been thinking about bringing him out of retirement along with his friend Ahmad Rashad. Obviously, we'd have a great offense with those two in mind.
Les Steckel, new coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Down in the field, the AFC on 2nd down and 8. Give the ball to Tony Collins. He works for about 6 yards up to the 45-yard line, but a flag is down. Flag down at the line of scrimmage. the indication, and we'll go against the NFC. And we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our local stations to identify themselves. 8:10 remaining in the first half here in the 14th.
Offside, number 72, defense.
14th annual AFC NFC Pro Bowl. Ed Jones was offside for the NFC. There was a gain of about 7, but the AFC wanted to keep the down, so the down remains the same. It'll be 2nd down and 5. The penalty declined. Bill Kinney of Kansas City, the quarterback, and he hands off to Joe Cribs. And Cribs once again making a good move in the outside, hurdles over one defender and gets to midfield for an AFC first down.
Yes, he sacrificed the body there a little bit. While we were talking to Les Steckel, who we started calling him the Eagle Scout. You know, he was a Marine, and he gets charged up there. I had a season with him in San Francisco. He's a good man, and I'm sure he'll do a good job. We saw Carlos Carson miss a bomb, a ball he should have caught, and I'm sure with his ability to come up with the big play, he's looking forward to making up for that miss.
He didn't drop many of them over the course of the season. You know, Les Steckel, that face looks like he should be playing with building blocks.
Reminds you a little of Dan Reeves, huh?
It'll change.
Yeah.
Tony Collins, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Now, that was a big play by Carson. If he would have caught it, the AFC has to do something to get back in this game. Fortunately, Chip Banks made a great play for him to keep the NFC from getting the first down when they went for 4th down a few plays back.
I could have taken a lot of the oomph out of the AFC to get down by 17 points after a quarter and a half.
Well, these guys got a lot of pride, Frank, and that's when they start getting mad, you know, getting a little embarrassed. That brings a little anger out, and the game heats up.
$5,000 difference between winner and loser, per player, that is. And for the coaches, that can make a difference also. On 2nd and 10, Kinney fires a shot intended for Carson, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10. And we talked about the 4 newest members of Pro Football's Hall of Fame. Let's take another look at Mike McCormick. He blocked for Jimmy Brown, was in 6 Pro Bowls. His number 74. This is the great Jimmy Brown. Following number 74, Mike McCormick, who, as I mentioned, played for the Browns, went to 6 Pro Bowls, played in 3 NFL titles. Here he is now, president and general manager of the Seattle Seahawks, former head coach of Baltimore and Philadelphia, and an interim coach last year for Seattle. And we'll talk to him in a few moments with Lynn Swan. 3rd down and 10 now for the AFC. Out of the shotgun, Bill Kinney. Kinney gets Carlos Carson wide open. There was a slip on the part of the defender there, Mark Haynes of the Giants. Carlos gave him a good move to the inside, broke it out, and it'll be 1st down AFC. Let's go down to Lynn Swan. He's with Mike McCormick.
Thank you, Frank. Mike, you've covered a wide range in football, from a player, now general manager, vice president. Can you tell us what the Hall of Fame award means? Is it just a reward for past glories, or is it more?
Oh, I think so. It means more. It means more to the players, Lynn, but it's based on your play as a player, and it's the greatest thing that a man can happen to a man in the game of football.
Okay, let's go back to live action.
And it's 1st down and 10 for the AFC. They trail 10-0. They have a drive going. Joe Cribs, left side. And he's piled up over there after a gain of maybe a yard, perhaps a yard and a half. Joe Cribs is in an interesting dilemma. He is in litigation now with Buffalo. Signed a pair of contracts, or rather a contract with Birmingham. And, of course, the federal judge said, I believe yesterday or day before yesterday, he would be allowed to start practicing with Birmingham, but that case is ongoing.
Yeah, it's sort of a shame, too, because he's such a good athlete. He leads the team in both rushing and pass receiving. You would wonder how he can get into this situation, a guy that doesn't want to lead a team and has to leave. It's tough.
2nd down and 9 for the AFC. Tony Collins, a big opening, and he spins to the right, and he'll have an AFC 1st down near the 15-yard line. Mark Haynes defensively there for the NFC.
I tell you, it was a heck of a run. He may be one of the probably the least heralded back of all the backs here, but these are great eyes. Look at this lateral motion. They have the agility to make a move like that and the power to run over 2 guys like that. It's only the great backs have it.
2nd round draft pick in 81. We'll watch it once again, and that's what Juice was speaking of. I mean, you sense it and feel it. You don't see it. It's an instinct, and you don't teach it either. At the 15-yard line, the AFC trying to get on the scoreboard. And a shot by Kinney was dropped by Carson. That's a pair of them now by Carson, and I got a feeling that The AFC and Kenny will come back and try and redeem or help redeem things for Carson. He just doesn't drop passes like this.
Yeah, he sure doesn't. It looks like the NFC was in a zone defense there. And Carson got inside, and the ball was right on the money from his quarterback there at Kansas.
Oh, he had laces up and everything for him.
Well, he redeemed the first drop by making a nice catch on the sideline to get him down here, so maybe he'll redeem himself this time. I'm sure he will. He'll be given the opportunity, we know that.
Quick count, 2nd down and 10.
Right away.
Oh, no. No. Carson again. Oh, what can I tell you? Carson caught 80 passes this year, 1,351 yards, 7 touchdowns. And, oh, what can I tell you?
Yeah, you got to feel bad for him. He's had some big games in his career. This, obviously, to this point anyway, isn't one of them. But you know, in college against Rice, he caught 5 passes for 5 touchdowns, came back the next week, caught a touchdown on his first reception, 6 touchdown receptions in a row, which is an NCAA record. Unfortunately, it's not helping him today.
Well, like Bill Kenny at Kansas City under John Makovic, who is really some fine coach, I feel, and so do many other people in this game. He had a tremendous year. They really blossomed, Kenny and Carson. Right now, Kenny looks over 3rd down and 10. That one batted in the air, and trying to get to the ball was Mark Duper. He does not do so. 4th down, and the field goal unit will come on for the AFC. That means Gary Anderson, and the man who batted that ball away, he does it so frequently for Dallas, was too tall.
Yeah,
he is too tall for Kenny.
I tell you what, he blocked 12 this year, and over the past 3 years, he's blocked 33 passes. It's funny, they don't keep that statistic too often, and he may not get a sack, but that should be just as good as a sack.
Here's Anderson, his first Pro Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers, of course. 27 of 31 this season with a long of 49. This will be a 33-yard attempt. Bill Kenny is the holder. Bob Kuchenberg, the center. No, and things are not going well for the AFC. Off to the right is Gary Anderson. 5:31 remaining in the first half. The NFC remains on top. They lead 10-0. We'll be back in Honolulu in a moment.
You're inside the American Airlines maintenance base where professionals like Richard McCormick run thousands of checks on our planes inside and out as part of our comprehensive maintenance program. At American, we spend over $1 million a day keeping our planes up to the highest standards, but there are some things you just can't put a price on.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
Devlin, biggest game of the year, and you couldn't get tickets.
Welcome to Miller Town.
He didn't.
It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
That's the story from Honolulu with 5:31 remaining in the first half. 10-0 the NFC. Gary Anderson just missed from 33 yards out to put the AFC on the scoreboard. And if you're watching this game, your weather is not quite like ours. We feel for you. We wish you were here. And we'll try and make it as enjoyable as we can for you. Frank Gifford along with O.J. Simpson and Lynn Swan. The NFC has the ball back, 1st down and 10 at their own 20. Montana fires. Low intended for Mike Quick at the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
That was Van McElroy who came over for the Raiders. Boy, has he done a job for them this year. Intercepted 8 passes. And did you see in the Super Bowl last week, you'll see him coming to your screen there, number 26. Did you see him catch Charlie Brown on that pass? I was surprised he had that type of speed. How would you like to be the agent for the backfield here now? Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, and Joe Theismann. Oh, boy.
Throw in Tony Dorsett and William Andrews. The NFC backs, as I mentioned earlier, rushed for nearly 3.5 miles this season. Walter Payton high steps it out over the 25-yard line. Up into there by Mark Gastineau, slid out there in pursuit.
They should call Walter Hollywood because it gives you so much illusions. You know, he comes out there, he starts high stepping, and you start buying any of that animation, he's going to be right by you, you know.
He did do that in his early years.
Yeah.
Was that a new wrinkle that he threw in there about 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think he learned as the years go. You know, it's interesting to see. I guess Dorsett does it the least amount of time as any of the great backs, but you look at Warner and you look at Peyton, they give you all kind of stuff when they come at you. And the minute you bite, they go right by you.
No business like show business, baby. 3rd down and 5, 25-yard line. Montana fakes the draw, steps back inside, and he'll go down. Howie Long of the Raiders, as he was so often this past season, the third-year man out of Villanova and playing in his first Pro Bowl, was there on Montana.
I think he may be the best lineman in the league in relationship to both pass rush and playing the run.
But is he the best on the Raiders?
Well, they got Lyle on the other side, you know. But, I mean, he plays the run and he pass rushes so well. It's kind of unusual for a guy to do both of them with his level of confidence.
Carl Birdsong is the NFC will punt for the first time this afternoon. Greg Pruitt is deep for the AFC. Beautiful punt by Birdsong of the Cardinals. Pruitt signaled for the fair catch. He got a lucky bounce out of that. He didn't step under it for the catch, and it could have taken a big bounce for the NFC. It did not do so, and it is down at the 35-yard line. 45-yard effort by Birdsong, and the AFC has it back at their own 35.
For efficient home heating, you can't beat natural gas. And now you can make gas work even harder for you. Just call 800-322-1616 for a free computerized home heating audit from your Train dealer. Within minutes, you'll see what it could cost to heat your home with a new Train gas furnace compared to what you're spending now.
Look how fast it can pay for itself.
See what you can save. Call for your free home heating audit now. Today and tomorrow, gas gives you more for your money.
It's not a car. It's a Volkswagen.
Marlon Starling wants revenge from champ Donald Curry in the WBA World Welterweight Championship live. Plus the inside story on Sugar Ray Leonard's return to the ring on ABC's Wide World of Sports Saturday.
Oh, Andy.
Pro Bowl in Honolulu, and not all All-Stars.
Yeah.
Ball at the 36-yard line. The AFC has the football, first down at 10.
I think my boy Andy is slipping a little bit.
AFC struggling in this game, down 10-0. The only scoring opportunity was a missed 33-yard field goal by Gary Anderson. Kenny's in trouble, gets out of it, and throws incomplete over the middle to Kurt Warner. It'll be second down and 10. We want to remind you, next Saturday, coming up here on ABC, we'll begin our day with the Professional Bowlers Tour, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central Time, that very popular show. Then ABC's Emmy Award-winning Wide World of Sports, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Central, will feature the WBA World Welterweight Championship. Donald Curry against Marlon Starling. That'll be live from Atlantic City, New Jersey. These two, of course, fought for the welterweight championship when Sugar Ray Leonard retired, and we're going to be talking with Sugar Ray Leonard about his views. Coming back, we'll talk to his doctor, and we'll be talking with Marvin Hagley discussing the return of Sugar Ray Leonard. Next Saturday here on ABC. Second down at 10, the AFC. Kenny gives the ball to Earl Campbell, and he's in the big arms of Dave Butts, who is like a huge horse blanket out there.
I'm telling you something. His first Pro Bowl after 11 years, and as Frank, you mentioned earlier in the game, he was sick all last night, and he's having a well of a game. There was the play before that he pressured Kenny. He made that tackle early in the game. He had a sack. It happens so often in sports.
You said it earlier, it does. So many times, I can recall myself a couple of games where I was running a temperature, didn't feel well, and I don't know, you just dig down and play a little harder, I think. We're
Plus you're a little lighter
today. Do just that. Third down and 11 for Kenny. Tried to get the rolling pocket, and he does manage to get the ball in the area of Cribbs, but good defensive pressure by Butts once again, and Harry Carson of the Giants forced Kenny to release it when he didn't want to.
The big Leroy Selman was bearing down on him.
Now to bring up fourth down, and Camarillo will come in to punt. That's the time remaining here in the first half. And the exciting one, Billy Johnson, drops back for the NFC. Billy Johnson, 10-6 average this season, and had that 71-yard touchdown run against the Jets.
And found time to catch 64 passes for.
Yeah. Whoop. Oh, Camarillo loses it, and he's in a lot of trouble. Now he's in more trouble. He tries to make it look like a pass, but he is taken there. Hugh Green was in there all over Camarillo, who bobbled the ball. It was not that bad a snap. He just lost it, so now Camarillo has a 22-yard punt to his credit.
Grasp and control.
And now Jerry Seaman is telling us what we have already suspected, that the attempted pass, which would have saved a few yards on fourth down for Camarillo.
Let's take a look at that. He could have caught this ball. I think the NFC players were buying the Mai Tais for the AFC players this week.
That was right in his hands. Not bad at all. There is the pressure by Hugh Green we spoke of. Now, Camarillo tried to make it look like a pass. You heard Jerry Seaman tell us he was in the grasp of the defender. So the NFC has a first down at the 25-yard line. They have a 10-point lead. And they have Montana at quarterback and Dickerson with the ball. Eric Dickerson. He's big, he's fast, and he has talent.
And when he decides to go upfield, I mean, it's like a jet.
Look again at that punt. It just was bobbled by Camarillo. I mean, maybe he was looking up to see who was rushing in. He might have wanted to hold it a little extra time to give his defenders to get down on Billy Johnson, but Hugh Green upset all the apple cart. And we have another first down for the NFC. Dickerson with the pickup. Firing is Joe Montana. Gets the ball to Charlie Brown. And yes, completion at the 2-yard line.
Well, Charlie Brown's had a heck of a year. Let's take a look at him. He's not very big, even though visually it may be an illusion because he has such long arms. You would think he's about 6'4", 6'5".
Charlie Brown
goes down,
collects it at the 2-yard line. 78 receptions on the season from Joe Theismann. So we have a first down, goal to go for the NFC. And we get the 2-minute warning. So the NFC is threatening once again, and we'll be back with more action after this message from the National Football League.
Hi, I'm Billy Joe Dupree of the Dallas Cowboys. I've just learned some important facts about high blood pressure from the American Heart Association.
And what's that, Billy Joe?
Millions of Americans suffer from high blood pressure and don't even know it.
Do you know why?
No, why?
Because usually there are no obvious symptoms, so they have no idea it could lead to severe heart problems.
You mean like stroke or heart attack?
Right.
That sounds serious.
Exactly. And that's why more people need to know what to do.
What's that?
Take this simple, painless test to find out if you have high blood pressure.
What if I do?
You see your doctor immediately for advice on how to control it.
Control it? Then there's no cure.
Not yet, but we're working on it.
How'd I do?
You passed, but remember...
I know. Keep it checked.
That's exactly what we wanted to hear you say. For more information, contact your American Heart Association. We're fighting for your life.
Two minutes remaining in the first half. The NFC has a 10-0 lead, and they have a first down, goal to go at the 2-yard line. O.J. Simpson made a rather sage observation a moment ago. They don't practice much goal line defense here at the Pro Bowl.
No, they don't.
They got a lot of big folks in there. They'll get into the gaps, and they'll just shoot gaps. And flags are down, and whistles are blowing. And we have a penalty. And a referee working the game today, Jerry Seaman. There's Jerry sorting it out. And here's the call.
False start, number 76, offense.
Mike Ken, left side. We'll go down to Lynn Swan. He's with Lester Hayes.
Lester Hayes, one of the best, maybe the best. Lester, you hurt your shoulder a little bit. Is it okay?
Understand, it was a slight sprain, and being a member of the silver and black secondaries, the pride and pause, I'm tough. I'm going to persevere.
I know you will. With all the attention and credit you got, man-to-man coverage, Is it going to be tough for people trying to make their mark on you in 1984?
Logically, Lynn, no. The silver and black secondary mentality is to dictate and dominate. Man-to-man coverage, Lynn, that's a silver and black forte, Lynn, and team shall challenge Mike Haynes and myself, but the silver and black shall be victorious.
You did a great job this year. Congratulations again. Back up to you, Frank.
Silver and black, been brainwashed a little bit.
Hey,
Did you say, OJ?
dictate and dominate. I think I like it.
Just win, baby. Lester Hayes, indeed, one of the great ones. And he has worked so hard to overcome his stuttering problem, and he is really going to win that one as he has won so many others. That pass was from Walter Payton to Roy Green. It was incomplete.
Oh, I know Walter's feeling bad about that. You know, this season, Walter had a game against the Saints when he threw 2 touchdown passes. Kind of a little windy up there, and you can see it was an easy pass. Roy Green was all by himself. Walter just flips it up, sort of, I think he hung it up there just a little too much.
Just out of the back of the end zone, and I think Roy Green, if he had a little more area, would have held on to that.
A little more area, it'd have been on the 3rd level here.
Walter Payton has been doing that since the days of Jackson State. And he's completed a touchdown pass. We've got a 3rd down and goal to go. Montana has Andrews as his fullback, and he's in trouble. Montana works the ball into William Andrews, touchdown NFC. And we talked about it earlier in the game. You have watched Joe Montana do it so well over the past 5 seasons. When he gets in trouble, he's a good athlete. He moves around, he finds the receiver on broken plays as well as any quarterback who's ever played this game.
Well, let's take a look at him. The toughest phase in playing in an all-star game is getting timing between your quarterbacks and your receivers. And when you got 2 quarterbacks like Montana and Theisman that can run around and make something happen, you have a definite advantage.
Andrews goes into the Pro Bowl record book, the first man ever to catch 2 touchdown passes. As you watch Haji-Sheikh add the extra point. And we have a 17-0 lead. Now, that might be overwhelming in certain games throughout the course of the season, but keep in mind who the AFC has playing on their offensive unit. They can score quickly. Here's another look as Montana works around, finds the receiver. There's Andrews, who made sure he had an open spot for Montana into the end zone. Touchdown, NFC.
That's another man going into an option year here, this William Andrews. I'd like to be in his shoes. I think I can buy me some new tennis balls, gift.
Well, he has been sensational when he came up as a 3rd-round draft pick out of Auburn. Hard to believe they got him in the 3rd round, but he was blocking for people like Joe Cribbs, and he had an injury problem as a senior. But Montana found him in the end zone, and as I mentioned earlier, he becomes the first man, William Andrews, to catch 2 touchdown passes in the 13 previous games, now the 14 AFC-NFC meetings.
And you're talking about a power back there. It's amazing. The guy gives the game his all.
He had a game against Miami. I don't know if you watched it, Juice. Miami had not given up any kind of yardage to runners throughout the entire season. Andrews just ripped him outside, inside, every which way, even though Miami won the game. Haji-Sheikh puts it high in the air, as he does so well and so often. Here's Greg Pruitt. And Pruitt out over the 25-yard line to the 27 with 1:03 showing on the clock, which we assume to be official. The AFC has 2 timeouts. They were forced to use one earlier. And they have their first down at the 27-yard line.
Now, I don't know if they're switching their backfield by series. Quite often, coaches will come in here and one backfield will play for 2 series and the other back to come in. And sometimes they'll do it by quarters. I just noticed Dan Fouts is back in the game, so I don't know. They must be doing it by series here, or maybe they think Dan will have a little more luck.
And Dan has his 2 Charger teammates in there with him, receivers Wes Chandler and Kellen Winslow. Also, Joe Cribbs, fine receiver out of the backfield. Fouts on first down. Winslow with the reception, short of the first down at the 35. And we'll see the hurry-up offense. And this, they do not have a lot of time to practice on also during a week of work here at the Pro Bowl.
Well, we said the advantage was to have a scrambling quarterback. Is a more advantage to be able to play a quarterback with his receivers.
Fouts, Collinsworth is wide open at the 44-yard line. Falls close to the 43 for a first down for the AFC.
Now, why haven't they done this for the first 2 quarters?
Maybe
Not if it was one today. Should play 2-minute downs all the time. Go to that 2-minute offense.
So often happens. Yeah, we had a penalty, I believe, although there is no flag down. Well, we have a timeout called, I guess, by the AFC. So they are down to 1. Dan Fouts is over conferring with head coach Chuck Knox and their staff. Give us a chance to talk about something we enjoy talking about so much, and that is the goal is gold when the 14th Winter Olympic Games in Sarajevo, Yugoslavia began February the 6th right here on ABC. 63.5 hours will be telecast of the Winter Games as we eagerly anticipate our American hopefuls chasing after their dreams. Alpine skiers such as Steve and Phil Mayer, the twins, Tamara McKinney, the overall World Cup champion of all the women for the first time ever for an American a year ago. She is really starting to peak out. Figure skater Scotty Hamilton and Rosalind Sumner's cross-country skier Bill Koch. That's just mentioning a few. The Olympic Games were once in a lifetime, happens every 4 years. Speaking of the Olympics, I'm kind of proud of my wife Astrid. She will run the first lap of the Olympic torch, OJ, when they bring it to this country. She's the first woman to run for Terry Rozelle's foundation with children with learning disabilities. So Astrid will be carrying the torch.
Congratulations.
43-yard line. Fouts is back on first down for the AFC. They have 1 timeout remaining, and Fouts will be sacked. And down he goes, Bill Gay, who is here as a replacement for an injured Fred Dean of the 49ers, gets the sack for the NFC.
Well, Bill Gay went to USC. He was a tight end.
Gay and English with Detroit. They had tremendous years this year defensively. Fouts again. Collinsworth. Beautiful effort by Collinsworth. Gets the first down yardage out of bounds, stopping the clock with 21 seconds remaining in the half. Mark Haynes trying to cover Collinsworth.
Let's take a look at the end of this pattern. We're talking about a great player. He was a state 100-yard dash champ in high school. Threw 2 touchdown passes, Frank. When he first went to Florida, he was a quarterback. One was for 99 yards, which is an NC2A record. Who do you think he threw it to?
Got me.
One of them was Dave.
Really?
That's right. Derek Gaffney from the Jets, and the other one was thrown to Wes Chandler. He's lined up on the other side here.
Collinsworth gets the first down. And the ball is dropped by Fouts as he pulled away from the center, and it's in the arms of Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor trying to turn into a running back. Holds on to the football, and the NFC gets it back with 14 seconds remaining in the half, and another effort by the AFC goes awry.
Well, the AFC is having a little trouble holding on to the ball today, but I tell you what, I remember a few years ago down in Dallas, the AFC, we had them down by about 20 points, and they came fired up, and we had to win the game late in the ball game.
Dwight Stevenson was the snapper. Dan Fouts, you couldn't see it. Of course, something happened in the transition.
Well, one thing you can't see on your television screen, it is a slight drizzle coming down, so the ball does tend to get a little wet and slippery.
And even when the rain stops, as it's been doing, it's been raining on and off. Right now it's sprinkling a little bit. That carpet remains wet, and when they place the ball down on the field, it'll come away from the center with a wet spot. This is Montana on first down. Oh, that ball is picked off. The final seconds are ticking off, but the clock is stopped with 4 seconds, so the AFC will have one more opportunity. Chip Banks with the interception.
Boy, is he a ball player. From USC, Chip Banks, you saw him early in the first quarter make a big 4th down stop. Came up with another big play there. He's about 6'5", pretty tall for a linebacker.
In Montana, he's running around. He can't find a receiver. Chip Banks is playing games with him. Montana now chased out close to the sideline. Banks goes way up in the air, one-hands it, tips it back into his arms, and as I mentioned, the AFC gets it back. Clock is stopped with 4 seconds on the turnover. Joe Montana gets the interception, and out comes Gary Anderson.
Got a pretty strong breeze going left to right, so
this will be an attempt of 44 yards, and Gary Anderson of the Pittsburgh Steelers puts it through the uprights, and the AFC, which has struggled throughout this first half, is finally on the scoreboard. They're down 17-3. As the teams head to the locker room, We'll be ready for our halftime features right after this message and then a word from our local stations.
Our son goes to camp.
Fascinating.
And you take over his computer.
Incredible. Now, command the powers of Atom, the power of a complete computer system, all in one package.
How about writing the kid a letter?
A letter? We'll use Atom.
A computer?
Atom, an electronic typewriter with built-in word processing program. So simple you can start using him right away.
Adam's asking me a question.
So answer it. And...
Right. Oh, we computed it.
Command the powers of Atom and program your future.
Monday, meet a blind calf with his own seeing eye doc. And it's whoosh against shush in a downhill asphalt race. That's incredible, then.
All right, come in.
They say you enticed them.
No.
You wanted to go to bed with them.
No!
When she says no.
Tomorrow, all starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Fasten your seatbelt. Right now, when you buy any new 1984 Thunderbird or Tempo from Waymakers Ford, you'll get a $350 cash rebate and the best price in town. Make your best deal on any new 1984 Waymakers Thunderbird or Tempo and get a $350 cash rebate to boot. Our best deal is your best deal. Prove it now with $350 cash in your pocket and the deal of your life on a 1984 Thunderbird or Tempo. Waymakers Ford, 10th Avenue North, just west of I-95, Lake Worth.
Performance. You'll find it at the drag strip. And you'll find it at a Phil's Auto Store. Phil's sells a complete selection of brand name auto parts and accessories at everyday low discount prices. Winning names like Pram, Quaker State, Moroso, even hard to find foreign parts. Phil's is open 7 days a week in convenient locations throughout South Florida. So no matter what strip you run on, when you need quality auto parts to get the job done, shop Phil's Auto Stores. Be a winner.
WPEC TV 12.
The sun has come out once again here at the Aloha Bowl in Honolulu. Aloha Stadium, rather, where the 14th AFC-NFC Pro Bowl is being played. We're at halftime. The NFC leads 17-3. But a lot of great talent offensively for the AFC. They finally got on the scoreboard here on the final play, and we're going to be returning a little later on. They put on a spectacular halftime show here at the Aloha Stadium. But right now we're going to New York and rejoin Jim McKay.
The formal presentation of the Sports Athlete of the Year. We'll be going back to the Pro Bowl very shortly. But right now, I'd like to make the formal presentation of our ABC's Wide World of Sports Athlete of the Year award. As announced on December 17th, the award this time goes to Australia 2, that doughty band of Aussies who ended the longest winning streak in sports by taking home the America's Cup. They really join a distinguished list of our winners. Our first recipient, runner Jim Beatty, in 1962. The 1968 Olympic gold medalist Peggy Fleming. Football and auto racing greats O.J. Simpson and Jackie Stewart, co-winners in 73. In 1974, the self-proclaimed greatest Muhammad Ali. Nadia Comaneci, winner of 3 gold medals in 1976. The miraculous effort of the Olympic hockey team in 1980. And Sugar Ray Leonard in 1981, to name just a few of the past winners. Now, this year's award to Australia, too, has a double significance, really. Not only did they win the America's Cup, they also ended the longest dynasty in sports history. It was in 1851 that the schooner America sailed across the Atlantic to compete in a race for the 100 Guineas Cup. After her victory, the trophy was brought back to the United States, and thus was born the America's Cup, the oldest and most important event in sailboat racing. The event had been won by the United States in every race held since 1851, the last victory in 1980 being achieved by Dennis Conner and the boat Freedom. This year's defender Liberty went out to a commanding 3-1 lead over the Aussies in this best-of-7 series. The Aussies came back to make it 3-2, and then in the 6th race, Liberty made a tactical error, not keeping themselves between the mark and their competitor, thereby letting Australia 2, skippered by John Bertrand and equipped with their mysterious keel, sail away with the race and tie the competition at 3 races each. In the final and deciding race, Liberty held an advantage again, 2/3 of the way. Once again, Australia 2 took advantage of a similar tactical error by Liberty and Dennis Conner. They outsailed the American crew, crossing the finish line the winners, thus ending the 132-year-old domination of the America's Cup by the United States. It was a remarkable achievement, one that gained worldwide attention. It was a celebration from Newport to Sydney and on to Perth, Australia. Prime Minister Robert Hawke all but called a national holiday in honor of Australia 2's victory. Back in Newport, John Bertrand, the skipper, was congratulated by his wife. And Australia 2's winged keel, designed by Ben Lexon, was finally unveiled. Alan Bond, head of the Australia 2 syndicate, held his gold-plated wrench high. It had been given to him to unbolt the trophy so he could take it home. With us now at our Denver affiliate, KBTV, is the leader of the Australia 2 syndicate, Alan Bond. First of all, Alan, congratulations to you and all the men of Australia 2. They tell us that it took some $16 million, and we know 4 tries for you to take that America's Cup back to Australia. You got to go through all that over again in 1987?
Well, we certainly are. We're hoping to be the defender in Perth, Western Australia, and we'll have to go against any other defenders that might come on the map.
There will, of course, be the usual competition among Australian boats to be the defender, just as the American yachts have always contended with each other.
Oh, yes, a similar trials will go on in latter part of 1986, ready for the main event in Perth in 1987.
Well, now that the controversy is behind you, and I hope all of the bitterness is also behind us, was the keel the whole difference?
No, it was a total yacht, the mast, the sails, and the keel. Australia 2 was a faster yacht than the Liberty, and that's why we won. Dennis Conner, of course, sailed a fantastic race series, and but we just managed to get there at the last moment.
Well, Alan, this is the trophy. Replica like this has been given to the winner every year since 1962. It was done by a well-known sculptor named Bruno Lucchesi, and certainly this year, every bit of it was earned by you and the men of Australia 2. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honour to receive this on behalf of the whole team, the support people, and the people of Australia.
Okay, thanks again, Alan. That's it, then, for the Athlete of the Year award. 1983 was a great year for the men of Australia 2. And by the way, 1984 is going to be quite a year for ABC Sports.
In 1984, ABC Sports salutes the golden dreams of the world's athletes with the most outstanding lineup of sports events ever presented by an American television network. In May, the Kentucky Derby, the world's premier horse race, called by many the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. The Preakness Stakes, the middle jewel in the Triple Crown. The Indianapolis 500, the greatest single-day sporting event in the world. 3 of golf's most important events, the U.S. Open in June, the British Open in July, and the PGA Championship in August. This summer, baseball's one and only all-star game. And in the fall, the excitement of the American and National League Championship Series. You'll also see live start-to-finish coverage of the prestigious New York City Marathon in October. ABC Sports will, as always, present football's finest. The exciting USFL will be back. This fall, NCAA football culminating in the Sugar Bowl, the game that has determined the national champion 5 of the last 8 years. NFL Monday Night Football, the most successful sports series in primetime history, returns for its 15th season. And in 1985, ABC Sports will also present the biggest one of all, the Super Bowl. This year, you'll see greatness in our returning series as well. ABC's Wide World of Sports, the most successful anthology series in the history of television. The Professional Bowlers Tour, back for its 23rd season. The Emmy Award-winning outdoor series, The American Sportsman. And ABC Sports Beat with Howard Cosell, the Emmy Award-winning show highly acclaimed for its commitment to sports journalism. But perhaps our greatest achievement will be when ABC Sports joins the athletes of the world in pursuit of Olympic gold, as our Olympic tradition continues. It all starts February 6th, when we'll be bringing you 63 and a half hours of coverage of the 14th Winter Olympic Games from Sarajevo, Yugoslavia. Sarajevo is a fascinating place, a city where East meets West, making it a very appropriate place for a world gathering of athletes. Our Olympic hopefuls will be there. Reigning world men's figure skating champion Scott Hamilton, the current Queen of the Ice Rosalind Sumner, and former world champion Elaine Zayak, the defending men's World Cup skiing champion Phil Mayer and his twin brother Steve. Heading our women's ski team, the defending World Cup women's champion Tamara McKinney. There will be speed skating, the daring bobsleds at Lewes, the awesome sight of men in flight, everything that has come to make the Olympic Games the most exciting sporting event in the world. And all the world will be waiting to see if miracles can happen again when America's Olympic hockey team takes to the ice to defend its title and bring home gold once more. In May, June, and July, we'll bring you almost 20 hours of daytime and primetime coverage as America's athletes try to win spots on our U.S. team in the Olympic trials. Then, this summer in Los Angeles, we'll have over 180 hours of coverage of the games themselves. With the most distant venues being almost 200 miles apart, we'll need more than 2,500 ABC personnel to televise the games. The Los Angeles Olympics, the biggest event in the history of television. In 1984, ABC Sports salutes the golden dreams of athletes with the most outstanding lineup of events ever presented by a television network. The result, like the Olympic medals America hopes to win, will be pure gold.
One more thing. We at ABC Sports will have a bit more spring in our step as we head for Sarajevo and our coverage of the 14th Olympic Winter Games, and of course, later on to Los Angeles for our presentation of the Summer Olympics. Why? Well, last Wednesday, it was announced by Roone Arledge, the president of ABC News and Sports, and Juan Antonio Samaranch, the president of the International Olympic Committee, that ABC Sports has been awarded the rights to the 1988 Winter Games in Calgary, Canada. That's right, Calgary, a city of some 600,000 in the province of Alberta. We've been there in the past for the famous Calgary Stampede Rodeo and for a World Figure Skating Championship. It's very much a live city, and the beauty of the surrounding areas can match anyone's mountain. So it'll be on to Calgary for ABC Sports and the Winter Olympics of 1988, which, by the way, will make 10 Olympic Games that ABC Sports has covered since 1964. First, though, remember, we'll be seeing you in Sarajevo as that ABC Olympic tradition continues. We'll be returning to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii after these messages.
Each year, the National Football League and Miller High Life Beer honor NFL players who spend a great deal of their time off the field in charitable causes. To present the 1983 NFL Man of the Year Award, it is my pleasure to introduce Tom Shropshire, Senior Vice President of the Miller Brewing Company.
On behalf of the Miller Brewing Company, I am pleased to present this award to Rolf Benerska.
1, 2, 3.
Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, and the players have come back out onto the field. The participants in the halftime extravaganza are leaving the field. And again, it's a game that's been dominated by the NFC. AFC have hurt themselves, and let's take a look at the first touchdown. At this point in time in the first quarter, Joe Theismann at the helm. The NFC was on top 3-0 on a field goal from Haji-Sheikh, and this shot to William Andrews, and as O.J. and I commented earlier, when he sees the goal line, Andrews just puts the head down, he gets in there. We'll look at it from a lower angle. Theismann had a tremendous first half. 14 of 15, 176 yards, 1 touchdown. And this was the first one to William Andrews. Strong, isn't he, Juice?
Yeah, well, look at him here. He's about 6 foot. He says he weighs 205 pounds. I think he's closer to 215, and he runs so low to the ground. He has those strong legs.
He works well also with Joe Montana. Here's Montana. We've talked so many times about his ability to get out of trouble. He's scrambling around, this from about the 5-yard line, and he spots number 31 once again. Andrews gets his second touchdown in the first half, and interestingly enough, no receiver here in the Pro Bowl in the previous 13 meetings has ever scored on 2 touchdown receptions. Those are the numbers, and they represent the dominance of the NFC over the AFC. 247 total yards against the AFC's 124. Time of possession separated by about 5 minutes. NFC on top there also. 2 turnovers by the AFC, 1 by the NFC.
And a few drop passes as the turnovers that hurt the AFC. But we're going to go down to Lynn Swan on the sideline with a pretty fair quarterback, Dan Fouts.
Danny, you're behind by 14 points. How are you going to get back in the ball game?
Well, hopefully we'll protect the quarterback a little bit better the second half and get our kicking game going. But we want to win badly. We want that extra money, and we have a little pride at stake, and I look for a good second half.
Let's talk about mobility. You're not as mobile as the other guys. Is that the big difference so far?
Yeah.
Danny would like to say that is the only difference, but it's not. OJ?
Lynn, that's a good way to influence people and make friends.
I noticed how Dan hung around after he asked that question.
Why didn't you ask him another question, Lynn? Such as, why are you so slow? Dan Fouts, we mentioned at the top of the show, had a very troubled season with injuries, and he will leave from the Hula Bowl, return to the mainland, where he will have surgery to have the navicular bone, a small bone between the wrist and the hand, removed. And it should not impair Dan Fouts. He's on the left hand, and it should not impair his future ability as the Chargers' great quarterback. We're about ready to get things underway again. Ali Haji-Sheikh will kick off, and this man, hopefully for the AFC, will be on the receiving end.
I think the AFC, they'll get back in it. These guys got a lot of pride, and actually they should be in the game. If Carson would have held on to a couple of passes, we'd be looking at a 17-10 game, and his first drive would be pretty important to him.
Ali Haji-Sheikh hits it up high. Greg Pruitt steps up to the 7-yard line and moves into the wedge. And when he moves into a wedge, he does it totally with abandon. And he gets to the 35.
Sort of unusual for a special teams man, especially running punts and kickoffs back. Normally guys excel at that earlier in their career. It was in 1973 that Greg went to the Pro Bowl as a kickoff return man. Here it is 10 years later, and he's still in the game doing the special teams. It's somewhat unusual, and a credit to the condition he's been able to keep himself in.
Washington will tell you about him. Greg Pruitt rambled for 97 yards on a punt return against the Redskins in their regular season meeting. First down and 10, the quarterback is Dan Fouts for the AFC. They have the ball at the 35-yard line, and flags are down. There was movement. Fouts was trying to get it out to Chandler. The referee again, Jerry Seaman.
False start, number 78, offense.
Anthony Munez, the left tackle, the big left tackle, over in the left side, pulled out a little early. There are some big folks across that offensive line. Dwight Stevenson, one of the great ones at center from the Miami Dolphins, is in there. Ed Newman is to his right. Also a Dolphin, Chris Hinton, the outstanding rookie from Baltimore, the left guard. Munez, the left tackle. Brian Holloway of the Patriots at right tackle. Loss of 5, first down and 15. Earl Campbell, and he is dropped by Doug English for a loss inside the 25-yard line. Loss of about 6. So the AFC struggling once again.
I notice the AFC have their more experienced linemen in the game. They got Henry Lawrence in the game there instead of Brian Holloway, and some of the older guys are trying to get something going now. I think they got to throw the ball. In a game like this, it's a wide open game. They're playing 4 men down. You know you're going to get man coverage. I'm surprised they're not trying to throw the ball downfield a little more.
I imagine it makes Chuck Knox, the conservative coach of the Seattle Seahawks in the AFC, wince a little bit. But again, this is what Dan Fouts was talking about. I don't care how mobile he is. That was Randy White.
And he just blew by Anthony Munoz.
And
maybe that's why he's not throwing.
Blew right into the face of Dan Fouts, and there is another loss. 3 consecutive losses. 1 sack, 1 trap of Campbell, and the penalty. And his third and tremendous yardage. We'll look again, and they're dealing a little bit in there. Selman came to the inside. Randy White circled around outside of him. The AFC didn't pick it up, and there's a loss all the way back to the 17-yard line. 3rd down and 28. Joe Cribbs and Kurt Warner are now the setbacks for the AFC, but they're going to put it in the air. Fouts. This will be picked off. Nolan Cromwell. Cromwell, he'll ease it into the end zone. And is threatening to run away with this one. Dan Fouts hung it into a crowd, hung it short, and Nolan Cromwell, playing in his 4th Pro Bowl, this time at a new position, strong safety, gets the interception.
Say credit to Nolan, too. It was pretty tough for him living in Los Angeles, reading about him going from free safety, where he's been an all-pro, to strong safety. And he's done such a good job of it. The players respect the job he's done so much that they voted him to this game. I think on this play he was playing like a free safety. He was just playing center field, and look
again,
what came to me.
I think, again, that ball slipped, as we saw it earlier with Bill Kinney. The artificial surface here is damp. It's been raining on and off throughout the entire game. That ball was fluttering like a butterfly, and Cromwell took it in 44 yards for an NFC touchdown, and Ali Haji-Sheikh once again adds the conversion point. So opening moments in the third quarter, the NFC has moved out to a 24-3 lead. Here's Fouts again. He was getting pressured from Doug English, but not that much pressure. He's seen more. He's looking downfield, trying to spot Collinsworth coming across. There's English, just about in his face. And that ball came away with a tremendous wobble, came up short, and Nolan Cromwell took it in for an NFC touchdown. We'll be right back.
Listen to these stuffy noses.
Afrin doesn't have it.
Dristan doesn't have it.
Only Sinex has it. Ooh! That quick feeling of relief from instantly penetrating Vicks vapors, plus a powerful decongestant that opens nasal passages and allows you to breathe freely.
Ah, complete relief.
For hours and hours, Sinex gives you both instant relief
Ooh.
and complete relief.
Ah.
Vicks Sinex in regular strength and 12-hour extra strength.
This is the moment. It's time
Exercise.
to start.
Right. Start slowly at first, but start.
You know you've got to find your way. That new tomorrow starts today. This is the best of life.
I've decided to start.
You can do it, and we'd like to help.
Theisman. As a 1976 Olympic silver medalist and 1982 World Cup champion, Bill Koch has only one challenge left: Olympic gold. Just wait. Starts February 6th on ABC.
Once again, Aloha Stadium. And the sun is really shining on the NFC. They lead 24-3, and they're kicking off once again. Haji-Sheikh hits it up high. Greg Pruitt settles in at the 10, looks for the wedge. And this time Pruitt finds it and booms out to the 40-yard line, giving the AFC good field position, but they have been almost helpless in moving the football. They are getting a lot of pressure on the AFC quarterbacks. We're going to pause 5 seconds and let our stations identify themselves.
WPEC TV, West Palm Beach.
Bill Kinney is the quarterback now. Dan Fouts moves over to the bench, and Bill Kinney of Kansas City comes in for the AFC. As I mentioned, good field position, his own 41-yard line. Kinney has to dump it off. Kurt Warner. And Kurt Warner turns a little bit of nothing into a whole lot of something to midfield, short of the first down by about a yard. Tripped up by Nolan Cromwell.
Well, that was a great pass by Kinney because too tall. Jones was right over there. I thought he would knock it down. One thing about Chuck Knox, he's not messing around now. He's got all the old pros up front. I see Kuchenberg is in the game and Ed Newman's in the game. They got Mike Webster centering the ball now. So he has his best, at least in terms of years in the league and experience, his best offensive line in there.
So the AFC with plenty of explosive offensive talent if we can just get it untracked. I know they are not out of this yet. Bill Kinney tries to get it to Winslow, incomplete. And again, there was pressure on the quarterback. That time, Randy White getting right into Bill Kinney's face. So it will bring up a 3rd down and 1. This is about the best we've seen a defensive team pressure an all-star quarterback, and we've been watching these Pro Bowls, playing them in them for many, many years. They are really getting pressure on the AFC quarterbacks, Dan Fouts and Bill Kinney. Bill Kinney, his play in the first half was 1 of 11 with 20 yards and 1 interception. That's what he is right now. 3rd down and 1. Well, flag is down as Kurt Warner has the yardage for the first down.
But it looked as if Wes Chandler stood up to signal for a timeout for some reason. May have been a little motion penalty on them.
That's exactly what it'll be. I think you probably saw it. Wes Chandler was in kind of a slot position, and just before the ball was snapped, he stood straight up, and it did look like he was trying to call a timeout.
I don't know why he would on a short yardage. Watch it. Short yardage situation. He obviously at 170, 165 pounds would have nothing to do with, Warner running the ball.
Illegal motion, number 89, offense.
Well, they call Wes Chandler. He might have been calling timeout because they might have had him blocking on Ed Jones.
I would have called timeout.
He wanted a second consideration there. 3rd down and 6 now. And Kenny will work from the shotgun. Movement again, but no flags. And this is Mark Duper. Super Duper, who had that great 3/4 of a season with Dan Marino with Miami. Gets the first down for the AFC, and they get out of trouble.
Let's take a look at this. He's running a simple pattern, but it's what he does with the ball after he catches it that is surprising. You know, they're supposed to be playing man coverage. It looks like the NFC has been going to zone coverage. Not that they're supposed to. It's sort of an agreement that they would. But watch this. This is pure speed. He almost ran through there through pure speed.
I wonder if they agreed not to pick, because he got a pretty nice one. At the 36-yard line. First down, AFC. Warner. Kurt Warner shakes a lot of hips, gets about a yard as Lawrence Taylor is there.
Well, one thing they're doing, you see that play was an I formation play. They were running what we used to call a 26. It's a slow developing play to run off tackle, and that's good if you're playing for a team that has time to establish an outside game or an inside game. In a game like this, when there's no real trends, you should run plays that get to the hole fast. You know, and let the back, do what he does best, once he gets through the hole.
And keep the ball in the air.
Yes.
Second down, long 8, Kinney back. Kinney had Carson open. He was working against Everson Walls. So Carlos Kinney of Kansas City, or rather Carson, had the move on Everson Walls, but it's incomplete.
Got to give him credit. The kid gets open. Had a few drops in the first half. He could have made up for it there.
It's interesting watching these players. There's 30 #1 draft picks performing here out of the 80 players, but there are a lot of free agents. One of them right here, Everson Walls, who had such a great 3 years with Dallas. This time he allowed Carson to get by him. Carson, one of those middle round draft picks. So quite frankly, anyone can play this game. It doesn't really matter where they come from. Third down and 9. Winslow, the intended receiver. Good coverage back there. Nolan Cromwell coming over from safety, getting help underneath from Ronnie Lott, and it'll be 4th down. Interesting decision now for Chuck Knox. He's down 24-3. It's 4th down. He has fairly good field position. It would be a long field goal attempt, and on 4th down, the punter stays on the bench.
Oh, I don't blame them. They're not going to worry about it tomorrow too much. They're trying to have fun. If they're going to have a chance of winning this football game, they got to get on the scoreboard. And you're not going to get on the scoreboard punting the ball.
He had a quick look at Chuck Knox. He's only won everywhere he's gone. 4th down. AFC needs 9 yards. Kenny. And in and out of the hands of Ronnie Lott, the intended receiver, Kellen Winslow. Lott was all over Winslow. Really no chance for the completion. And Lott perhaps almost made a mistake in intercepting that ball. He would have lost about 10 yards on it. He went for it.
I think he still wish he'd have caught it.
He was looking for 6 points. So the AFC has turned it over once again, and the NFC will have good field position. They'll be at their own 35-yard line. We have 10:43 remaining in the 3rd period.
Budweiser salutes the coaches and trainers of the 1984 U.S. Olympic team.
And a good follow-through. Clean, Judy. Fight it hard. Don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you.
A couple runs in the back, running it off. That should give you a little bit quicker time through the gate.
Not so good, Gary. We'll get him tomorrow. Good extension. Head up.
To the U.S. Olympic coaches and trainers, the team behind the team, this Buds.
Before you buy the new Michelin XA4 all-season radio, remember this. Every XA4 has 20 million miles of testing behind it to prove it performs like a snow tire, and like a tire designed for the rain, and like a great handling highway tire, and to prove it keeps on performing mile after mile after mile. After 20 million miles, the Michelin XA4 proved it had nothing left to prove. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
We have seen the NFC in the first half fail on a 1st down and goal to go. The AFC a moment ago missed on a 4th down and 9. The NFC has a 1st down and 10. The ball at their own 35-yard line. Fred Smerlis a little quick off the line of scrimmage for AFC, and flags are down. Fred Smirlis playing that unfamiliar tackle position, O.J. He's a nose tackle.
And one of the best there is, he and Baumhauer.
Number 76, defense.
I think the defense has not played too bad here. And once again, they got a lot of pride down there, and they're a little upset. They know they have to make something happen if they're going to get back in this football game.
Number 76, defense.
In case we didn't hear the first time.
5-yard walk-off. Down remains the same. 1st and 5 at the NFC's 40-yard line. William Andrews, single setback for the NFC. And a shot intended for Roy Green by Joe Theismann, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 5. We mentioned the 4 new inductees into Pro Football's Hall of Fame. Here's another one, and truly a great one. Charlie Taylor spent all of his 13-year career with the Washington Redskins, set the NFL all-time reception record, 649 passes he caught, nearly 10,000 yards, 79 touchdowns, came up as a great running back from Arizona State, converted to a wide receiver, and truly one of the best. Here's Lynn Swann with Charlie Taylor.
Charlie, Hall of Fame, with all the catches, a great stat. Is it something you get by getting great stats, or is it more than just that?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, Lynn. Yourself know that you have to be great in both aspects. You have to have the stats, and you also have to have endurance.
When you look at the receivers that are playing today, how do you evaluate them?
Well, I work with a couple of fine receivers, and Charlie Brown and Art Monk, and I tell you what, they're as fine as you were and as I was, and this is great. I think the players are even better today.
With all the great achievements you have accomplished personally, how does the Hall of Fame fit into it?
It sort of caps everything off. You know, a great player playing in this game needs something to cap it off, and this is the cap for me.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Frank?
Charlie Taylor will go into the Hall of Fame as we watch Eric Dickerson over the right side. The NFC picked up their 1st down, and that was a 1st down and 10 from their 47. Dickerson gets about 7 out of it.
Boy, did he accelerate,
is he something. Charlie Taylor, Willie Brown, Mike McCormick, Arnie Weinmeister. They were announced yesterday as the newest inductees into Pro Football's Hall of Fame. We've heard from Willie Brown, Charlie Taylor, Mike McCormick, and a little later on, we'll be checking in with Lynn and Arnie Weinmeister. 2nd down and 3. Theismann back once again, little play action. Theismann, great ability to move around as he did just there, and he gets the ball to Green Bay's tight end. That's Paul Kaufman. He's to the 35-yard line, and another NFC 1st down.
Now, Kaufman, you know, he has a reputation of not being too fast around the league, but if you look at his average per catch compared to Winslow or Christensen's, he averages about 15 yards a catch, where the other 2 guys average about 13 yards a catch. So he gets the most out of his lack of speed.
He's another one of those free agents I mentioned a moment ago.
54 receptions, 11 TDs.
And the NFC on 1st down goes to the air once again. Theismann looking deep. He wants his prime receiver, Charlie Brown. It's incomplete as Gary Green was hovering right in the area defensively for the AFC.
Gary Green was a little lucky that time. Let me tell you, Charlie Brown disguises the fact that the ball is coming probably as well as any receiver in the game. See, Gary Green, who was not watching the ball, could not read Charlie Brown to tell if the ball was there.
You won't see that
Charlie
often.
should have caught it.
That went right through his fingertips. 2nd down and 10. 8:33 remaining in the 3rd quarter. NFC had this at 17-0 at one point. AFC answered with 3 points. Final play of the 1st half, and it is now 24-3 NFC. And William Andrews over the left side. And he'll lose a couple of yards.
Big Joe Glecko is in this game as a defensive end. Much like Nolan Cromwell, they moved him to tackle, and the players around the league thought he did such a good job, they voted him into the game again.
Well, what a marvelous comeback for Joe Glecko from that injury in this early going of the season of '82. He struggled and struggled, worked and worked, and he has got himself back to all-pro potential and capabilities once again. We got a 3rd down and long now for Joe Theismann. And Theismann works it underneath. William Andrews. Andrews has another NFC 1st down, and Andrews is having himself a day.
He's had many of them. If there's an MVP in this game, and we're voting right now, it'd be close with him and Theismann, but I think he may have a slight edge. Take another low angle. He's running a little cross pattern. Both the backs came out of the backfield. Dickerson came around the right side and went left, and Andrews did the opposite. Caught the ball, made a nice catch, and it's acceleration time here.
Good call, too, because it was 3rd and 13. The AFC was thinking deep, and Theisman sent the receivers deep and then delayed Andrews underneath. With Theisman, thus far, 16 of 19, 208 yards, and 1 touchdown. Payton, Walter Payton.
Oh, great play.
Payton upended
Chip Banks.
Chip Banks once again, who made that big play in the first half on a 4th down and goal to go at the 2.
Well, you know, you look at the plays that the NFC is running and when they're calling the plays, and I think that could be a tribute to the fact that Bill Walsh, his philosophy of offense is more suited to a game like this. He plays wide open football, and in a game like this, you pretty much have to play wide open football, and he's able to communicate an intricate offense pretty simply.
As opposed, really, to Chuck Knox, who has been just almost as successful, I guess, in the sense that he did not reach the Super Bowl as Bill Walsh did, but Chuck Knox likes to ball control it. He likes to play the high percentage. And he really doesn't like to throw it if he doesn't have to.
Yeah, his game depends with a lot on emotion. All right, this should be
Eric
interesting.
Dickerson. And Kenny Easley, one of the fine tacklers in any man's secondary, makes the stop on Dickerson, open field. Dickerson very close to another 1st down, perhaps a yard short.
Well, he ran away from Gradis Shaw and Chip Banks then. He didn't gain many yards, but once again, I'm talking about overdrive. Any other back would have gained about 4 or 5 yards at that time. Sheer speed enabled him to run by 2 guys, and he couldn't break it all away. But for a guy his size and with his speed, that's why I think he may be the premier back in football today.
He did some amazing things, didn't he, this year, O.J.?
And he has the coach for it. That's something that's very important, too. He has the type of coach who's going to set up the offense for him to get the maximum out of it. That's for Herschel Walker and Marcus Allen listening. I know you guys will do a good job, too.
3rd and short, and Joe Theisman fires it into James Lofton.
And I think that ball will go to young David, his newborn baby from last night. I think his baby has a present.
David and Beverly. Now, hopefully they're looking in. Little David born last night to James and Beverly. And what a fine pass by Theisman.
Yeah.
Gary Green was in about as good a position as you can get without pass interference. That's Theisman's 18th completion, and that breaks the Pro Bowl record set last year by Dan Fouts. Theisman puts it down. Haji-Sheikh puts it up. And the NFC is running away with this one. 31-3. The NFC dominating the AFC here in the annual Pro Bowl in Honolulu.
Working hard when the heat is on could mean perspiration odor. Right Guard antiperspirant helps stop wetness better than the leading spray, as it kills the bacteria that can cause perspiration odor.
I may not win every race, but I still have an advantage over these guys. I use the Gillette Atra. They don't. It has the advantage of a pivoting head. Atra is better than twin-blade razors that don't pivot. See? They don't always stay on my beard, but my Atra pivots to keep both blades on my beard longer. So I get a better shave. Close, comfortable.
Get the Gillette Atra and get the Atra advantage.
Hey, everyone can use a little advantage.
WPEC TV 12.
Well, the enthusiasm is still here at Aloha Stadium. The fans are chanting they want to come back.
Well, they're seeing some big plays, Frank. Unfortunately, all the big plays are by one team, the NFC.
It's been that way. Haji-Sheikh. This time it's a low liner that's taken by Kurt Warner. Warner heads up football at the 10-yard line, because that would have gone through the end zone. So Warner, with his good play, saves 10 yards for the AFC.
The problem is they need 70 more.
There is a record attendance here at Aloha Stadium. 50,000 plus. 50,445 to be exact. It only seats 49,800. So they've taken a shoehorn and brought the people into the stadium. They're enthusiastic here, too. The quarterback remains Bill Kinney. And again, the pressure on the quarterback. And this time, wheeling around is Doug English. That's his second sack of the game, and he's been involved in a couple of forces.
Well, he just blew by Bob Kuchenberg that time. Kuch is a little upset.
Kuchenberg has been in this Pro Bowl as a guard and a tackle. He came in this time as an alternate. He does the snapping. Kuchenberg this year replaced an injured John Hanna from New England who couldn't make the game. I mentioned earlier Bill Kinney replaced Dan Marino of Miami. Henry Lawrence replaced Marvin Powell at tackle, and Ray Claiborne replaced Louis Wright at cornerback. Those were the changes because of injuries. Second down and 15 for Kinney. Up in the air and is free. So it'll be third down and long. On the sideline, Lynn Swann with Joe Theismann.
Okay, Joe, congratulations. You set a new completion record here in the Pro Bowl.
Oh, Jesus.
You've got a lot of time to throw. Combination of your mobility and your offensive line blocking?
I think it's the offensive line blocking, plus it's the quickness. You know, Coach Walsh has a system that is similar as far as quick releases go with Joe Montana. It really complements what I do. I don't like to hold it very long back there, and as it turns out, everything that we're doing real quick works out well.
Is the NFC up a little bit more for this game than the AFC so far?
I don't know. I think we got off to a good start. You know, it reminds me about a week ago. When you get off to a good start, things start to move for you. Our defense has played great, got us great field position. The guys up front just seem really relaxed and moving along. I don't know whether it's up, but I'm sure glad that it's here. It's fun out there. Listen, I want to say a special hello to my little boy Patrick at home and Joe and Aim. It's good to see you. Someone else out there knows I say hello too.
Oh.
Thanks, Lynn.
On a third down and 15, Randy White, this time against Bill Kinney. So the defense is continuing to pressure the AFC quarterbacks. Both.
I think next year, watch this, another stunt we're seeing here. I think next year the AFC is going to make a rule, well, no blitzing as well as no stunts by the offensive line. As you can see, it's happening over there with Leroy Selma and Randy White. They're running stunts over there, and they're really using the guys that they're playing against.
Yeah, they're doing that against all-pro veteran offensive linemen, and they are getting away with it time and time again. That brings up fourth down. Camarillo to punt. Deep is Billy Johnson. This time Camarillo hangs it long and high. And here's Billy Johnson. And down goes Johnson. Todd Christensen, and you won't see him on many special teams for the Raiders, but he was down there to make the stop. 46-yard effort by Camarillo, 4-yard return by Billy Johnson. We have 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Televideo personal computers equip the professional for success. Because Televideo's innovative design produces powerful, sensibly priced computers that communicate with one another and grow as rapidly as you do. Televideo, personal computers that equip you to attain that most coveted objective, a business boom. Televideo personal computers. Get in on the boom.
If emergencies never happened, you might never need a tire as good as Tiger Paw Plus with Royal Seal from Uniroyal. But you might. The reassuring protection of Uniroyal technology. Tiger Paw Plus with Royal Seal from Uniroyal. You may never need a tire this good.
The NFC defensive unit has gotten to the AFC quarterback 6 times. That is highly unusual in the Pro Bowl. And it has been one of the deciding factors in the 31-3 lead by the NFC. And on first down, Tony Dorsett tries the right side, upended by Chip Banks, who is turning in a fine game defensively for the AFC.
I think that's the new glamour position in the NFL as linebacker. If you don't have the great linebackers, you can't play in this league today, and there's some great ones here today.
The 3-4 has really stimulated it, too. They're really great athletes. These linebackers that play now are usually 6'2", 6'3", and about 235 to 240, and they are superb athletes. They can move so quickly, and they can step up and play almost like a defensive end. They can come on the blitz and be effective. They can run over a back who tries to pick them up. And I agree with you, Bruce. It is the glamour spot now in pro football defensively. Walter Payton on second down and 11.
Well, it's funny there. I just saw Ted Hendricks, who had Walter, and when Walter took off of him, he really didn't chase him. I think Ted is still hurting. He had some lower stomach pull problems, muscle problems, and I don't know if he should be out there right now. You know, I should point out
that myself. They only used him, as I recall, the Raiders on running situations. Whenever a passing situation came up against Washington, they'd take him out. And he is coming out right now.
I tell you, one of the reasons Theismann is having a good game is, one, his ability, and the guys are getting open, and the offense is suited to him. But normally, if a guy is having this good a game, you'd start blitzing him, and you can't blitz him in this game. That's another reason I'll get to in a minute.
On 3rd and 4, and Theismann tried to get it into Walter Payton, and good defensive play. McElroy and Claiborne were both there.
I think another reason is where both of the coaches sort of agreed that they would play a lot of man here. I think the AFC have man players, and they're playing a lot of man defense, and the NFC is playing a lot of zone. And I would think in a game like this, when the quarterback hasn't worked with the receivers a lot, it's easier to play against man.
Here's Birdsong of the Cardinals. Greg Pruitt, you saw a moment ago, has settled in for the AFC at about the 17-yard line. And Birdsong. Pruitt, fair catch at the 17-yard line. So the AFC, this time, able to stop the NFC's offensive attack, and they have the football back. They need a lot of points, however. We'll be right back.
Last year, this tough Ford 4x4 pickup clawed its way up this monster mountain of boulders. And here's the 84 Ford 4x4 about to climb the same mountain, but this time with a 3,500-pound competitor on its back. Ford has a 6.9-liter diesel, the most powerful diesel engine you can get in a pickup. Only Ford has independent front suspension. Ford is America's best-built, full-size pickup, based on a survey of owner-reported problems during the first 3 months. Yes, Ford always seems to end up at the top. The best-built American trucks are built. Ford Tough.
This Bud's for everyone who keeps things rolling on the mighty Mississippi.
Breakaway barge, please respond.
Let's get him.
Thanks, Golding. We're right below here and we're on our way out.
I'll come around on the port side and bumper there. Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. The AFC has the ball back. They have it at their own 18-yard line. Dan Fouts is back at quarterback for the AFC. And Fouts gets it to Collinsworth, and Collinsworth has the first down out near the 28-yard line. This Collinsworth, who had the best year of his young career, 66 receptions this season, 17-1 average. The 2nd-round draft pick, we talked about him earlier, a fine athlete. Schoolboy sprint champion down in Florida.
All-state basketball player.
At the 29-yard line, the AFC has the ball. Collinsworth thus far, 4 receptions today, 64 yards. Kurt Warner. And Warner has been doing that all year long. It looks like you have him behind the line of scrimmage, and he runs so low to the ground, O.J.
He did a good job there. Once again, these defensive linemen for the NFC are the best there is. And if you're going to block them, you're not going to block them long. So I think it would behoove the AFC to go to split backs and try to get those quick hitting plays and not those slow developing plays. But actually, they should be throwing the ball at this point.
But he is ideal for Chuck Knox's offense. He keeps it alive. He'll pick around with 3, 4, 5 yards a pop. On 2nd down and 4, Fouts back and in trouble again. And down he goes. Randy White will be credited with the sack.
It was a big Dave Butt set it up again. Here's a guy who was sick all night. I think they got to find a way to give him a touch of the flu before every game next year.
Fire him up in Washington.
He was fired up this year. That's why he's here today.
There's a loss now of about 4 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 9 for Dan Fouts. Joe Cribbs comes in offensively for the AFC. Good receiver out of the backfield, as I mentioned before. 7 sacks, that ties the Pro Bowl record for sacks on a quarterback, and we've got a lot of time to be played.
Oh, boy.
He just broke it. Fouts down again and again. Randy White was in there with his teammate, Ed Too Tall Jones.
Well, I'm not an offensive line coach, but if I was coaching this team, I'd tell the guys that don't drop back. They got to take these guys at the line of scrimmage because they're running, they're dealing, and they're running stunts up front. I mean, they're doing a job up there.
But they see that all year, OJ, except they see it with another teammate.
Well, it's easier for a defense to do it because you know what you're doing. It's the offense making that switch that is difficult to do, and the AFC's offense is not making a switch, tackle a guard to center.
Yeah, we could get Lynn to talk with Dan Fouts again, get it worked out.
I want to see Lynn talk with one of those AFC offensive linemen to try to figure out what's going on.
Billy Johnson.
Billy Johnson.
And Johnson back to the 33-yard line. Gary Green stopped him there. It'll be first down for the NFC. Reminder, next Saturday here on ABC, the Pro Bowlers Tour. Of course, at 3:30 Eastern Time, followed by ABC's Wide World of Sports. The WBA World Welterweight Championship, Donald Curry going against Marlon Starling. Undefeated champion Donald Curry defends his title in a rematch against top contender Marlon Starling. And, of course, Sugar Ray Leonard, who gave up the title that these two youngsters fought for. Well, we're going to look into his story, take a look at the story of his comeback. Ray's own views on that. We'll talk to his doctor, discussing his physical condition and any inherent dangers to his eyesight. And we'll also talk to Marvin Hagler, all next Saturday here on ABC. On first down, Walter Payton finds an opening, and he blows it out to the 43-yard line, close to an NFC first down. Kenny Easley once again sliding up.
Take a look at Walter lined up at fullback, a little up back there. Unusual alignment for him. Just a straight drive block.
We've got a whole lot of tailbacks here. Payton, Andrews, Dickerson, Dorsett. Little short on fullbacks. Just short of the first down was Walter Payton.
Oh.
But he'll pick it up this time out over the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Big Jack Lambert was there. I maybe wish he wasn't there that time. Walter gave him a real nice pot.
Let's go down to the bench and Lynn Swan. He's got a report for us.
Well, Frank, OJ, you were talking about the AFC's offensive line. In the first half, I had a chance to talk to Mike Webster. He said one of the problems they were having is that they are area blocking. They're blocking the men that come into the area, and the defensive linemen, the NFC defensive linemen, are able to hold and slip away. The offensive line can't make the calls and pick up the man on the switch. So they switch to a man-to-man offensive line blocking. But that still is not working.
Sounds a little complicated to me, man, but whatever is happening, Randy White, Ed Jones, and they're just having a field day along with English. And there you watch Tony Dorsett having his difficulties. He gets about a yard out of it.
Yeah, it's interesting what he said. What you'll do if you watch the next time the NFC is out there, they'll take Leroy Selma, and he'll run and grab the man that's blocking Randy White. So he's being blocked by his man, and he's holding Randy White's man, and Randy White is looping around, getting to the quarterback.
It's
sort
been
of
successful.
Sort of advanced defensive play for an all-star game.
8 times AFC quarterbacks have been sacked. And Joe Theismann moves over to have a chat with Bill Walsh, his head coach, as the quarter expires. And there it is, the end of the third quarter. We'll be back in Honolulu after this from our stations.
The Winter Olympic Games, where once in a lifetime happens every 4 years, begins February 6th on ABC.
The Erie Canal that linked mid-America to the Port of New York took 8 back-breaking years to dig by hand. That kind of determination made this country grow. Today, I see that same determination in hundreds of small to mid-sized companies whose new ideas, new technologies, and new jobs will continue to build America. At First Jersey Securities, we specialize in discovering emerging growth companies for today's investors with vision. First Jersey Securities, come grow with us.
Announcing a January sale so great, it'll knock your socks off. It's Walridge Carpet and Tiles 10 to 50% off everything sale. Every top-name brand carpet, every first-quality remnant, every color and style, every name brand fiber. Yes, almost everything is 10 to 50% off. So get back in your socks, shoes, and walk, run, or ride. But get to Walridge Carpet and Tile right now for savings of 10 to 50% on just about everything. At Walridge Carpet and Tile, we cover it all from Fort Lauderdale to Stewart.
WPEC-TV, West Palm Beach.
Festivities continue here in Honolulu for the Pro Bowl game. Some of these fans were here at 6:30 and 7 this morning, tailgating, having breakfast as we look at the NFC. Begin the fourth quarter, 2nd down and 9. Theisman back. Tony Dorsett put one hand up. That wasn't enough. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
I think he knew that Hendricks and Claiborne was there, and he was saying, why? We're up 31-3. Well, why should I catch it?
Let's take a look at the stats from the 3rd quarter. And again, the continuing domination of the NFC. 236 passing yards, 327 to 150 total yards, and much of it reflected in the fact that the AFC cannot throw the football. They're just getting too much pass pressure. We have had 8 sacks of AFC quarterbacks by the NFC defensive line. This is Walter Payton. And Payton, little but oh so strong, carries the tackler, Lester Hayes, for an extra yard or 2, and a flag goes down. Someone could have been a little over-enthusiastic after the play had moved out of bounds. Here's Jerry Seaman getting it sorted out. Personal foul. And it works against the AFC. McElroy is complaining that it was not he that was the offender, that they're going to walk it off.
It's a big one, too. It looked like Walter was going to get more out of that. They took advantage of Gastineau with flying in there, and not only did they get around him, he sort of blocked his lineman way.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 37, defense, 1st down.
Actually, they called it against Lester Hayes. That's Lester Hayes now. He has Walter Payton, and he just was a little over-aggressive in dumping Walter Payton when he was out of bounds. So the NFC has a 1st down at the 30-yard line of the AFC. William Andrews and Walter Payton, the setbacks. Hey, Theisman goes down. No fumble. This time it was Joe Klecko. And I didn't notice, O.J., whether the AFC was starting to deal with their tackle and defensive end or not.
If they did, it wasn't with their defensive end because Gastineau came straight upfield. If it happened inside. See, they're playing one-on-one. I think they're playing by the more conventional rules of the All-Star game, and the NFC is just having a little more fun. I think they may have spent a little more time concentrating in practice.
Let's restate those rules, though. There's nothing wrong with dealing at the defensive line. They have to play a 4-3. They can roll to the strong side in the zone. That's the only zone coverage they can use, and the middle linebacker must drop weak. 2nd down and 18. Walter Payton, one-man screen. And Walter Payton taken from behind by Rod Martin. And that high stepping may have slowed him down somewhat.
All right, I like this.
He got some action going. That's Howie Long involved there.
Yeah, and that's big Jackie Slater, who had a little problem with Mark Gastineau earlier in the season when he did a little dancing. But when you're messing with a guy like Jack Lambert, he's been in this game 9 times. He's not accustomed to being down 31-3, and I would imagine he's just a tad upset.
Any game he plays in, when you talk about Jack Lambert, he's playing it to win. He is a very emotional player. And things were flaring somewhat. They're going to have offsetting personal fouls. We've seen a lot of that this year. I guess that's one way to keep law and order.
Yeah, they just had Walter Payton and Lester Hayes went up and hugged each other. I guess they just made up. So maybe we'll see Lambert and Jackie Slater. No, I don't think we're going to see them.
That's what transpired. And Jack Lambert took umbrage over the fact that I guess it was Kent Hill was also involved in there, along with Jackie Slater.
Yeah, 77 to Slater. I think he thought Jack Lambert was a little over-exuberant. Normally you will get that from the first-year guys, first-time guys. I'll tell you a little story about that in a minute.
3rd down and 13, and the rain is coming down once again. Theisman under pressure once again. This time spins out of it. He needed more for the 1st down. He is about a yard short of the 1st down. Very close. This might be dependent upon how they mark it.
Well, they did a little deal that time on the defensive line, and it worked, but the mobility of Theisman made it a positive play for him. Matter of fact, I just see the lineman, Bumhauer and Schmerlich giving each other 5. I guess they decided to do a deal, and it worked for them. A deal is when you do the stunts that we were talking about earlier.
That means the end coming down, knocking the man that is blocking the tackle off, and the tackle stepping around and really acting as a defensive end. The NFC has used it so successfully today, and now the AFC is starting to use it. And the NFC will go on 4th down and 1. Andrews, oh, he just blew through there to the 15-yard line for another NFC first down, and the rain now is coming down hard.
This is a pure speculation on my part, but I'm interested in Ted Hendricks. There was some talk that he may retire. I'm surprised that he's still playing. I noticed 2 plays ago, Walter Payton, he was one-on-one on Walter Payton, and he really had no mobility. And I'm shocked that he's still in the on the football field right now. You know, maybe he's thinking this may be his last game. Of course, as I said, I'm speculating here.
We have a first down and 10 for the NFC. Theisman tries to time it out with Charlie Brown, who can leap so high with those long arms. As O.J. mentioned earlier, he is like about a 6'4" receiver.
Clearly a timing pattern.
Absolutely, and you see the defender has to play with his back to the receiver. And this is one that Charlie Brown could have had. Ray Claiborne was in about the best position he could possibly be in. Nevertheless, that pass was certainly catchable. 2nd down and 10. We're in the 4th quarter. The NFC is dominated. They lead 31-3. Dickerson. And Eric, the terrible one, moves to the 10-yard line. Just so much of that sheer strength and power. Dickerson getting about 6 yards out of that effort.
Is that velocity? Well, I guess you see it with Tony Dorsett. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but I've seen him run over people because he can get so much velocity going. That acceleration, boy, makes you strong.
I guess we would have heard a lot more about him, even though we did hear a great deal as Tony from SMU when he put together over 4,400 yards rushing if he had not been playing at the same time as Herschel Walker.
Plus, he was sharing the position with another fine back.
That's Theisman to Kaufman, short of the first down, as Kenny Easley was there defending for the AFC. Theisman is having a great afternoon, which actually began in the morning here in Honolulu time, because right here it is 20 minutes of 2. 4th down.
Bill Walsh is in a funny situation here. You know, you go for it, you don't know if they're going to think on the other sideline, or are they pouring it on. But at 31-3, you don't want to kick what is a gimme field goal, you know. So I guess you go for it.
Theisman now 20 of 26, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's looking over a 4th down and 1. Speaking of going for it, Paul Kaufman, touchdown NFC. Play action. AFC thinking on 4th and 1. The NFC would keep it on the ground. Theisman tricked him up. Play action, and wide open was Paul Kaufman.
And I bet Bill Walsh was hoping they wouldn't get it. He and Chuck Knox are good friends, and I'm sure I guess he feels they don't need another touchdown. A little delay over the middle. Kaufman probably blocked, took off across the middle, and he's all by himself.
And Ali Haji-Sheikh has trotted out once again. Theisman now 3 touchdown passes. Sheikh puts it through the uprights, and the lead is extended to 38-3. We'll be back.
It's no use, brother. I've tried all the others. Been all around, but I've never found anything that even sounds as good as McDonald's Quarter Pounder. With cheese to please and French fries to defy any other to even try to satisfy my needs. When 100% beef is a must, it's McDonald's that I trust, cause I'm a mean potatoes man. So please understand, in my humble point of view, it will always be McDonald's and me and you.
Inflexible Express.
Hi, can you get a package to Yugoslavia?
Absolutely, positively not.
How about Taiwan or Peru?
Absolutely, positively not.
Well, Purolator Courier can. We're more flexible than a certain express company.
We now serve over 100 countries, so the courier that delivers the most packages overnight in North America
now gets them to even more of the places you want. Call Purolator Courier. You want it, you got it. Worldwide.
Oh, do is smell the coffee, splash on Old Spice. Now you're moving, isn't it nice? Standing tall now, you're doing it right. Pour out a handful, splash on some spice.
Nobody sends more guys out there than America's favorite, unmistakably masculine Old Spice.
Now you're moving, don't think twice. Splash on the feeling, splash on some spice.
I knew it happened.
Well,
we're back at Aloha Stadium. Watch this. A moment ago, Greg Pruitt from the end zone hits the gap, opens beautifully, and he just about broke it off. And then watch what happens, as it so often does when you're out of control.
Look who's there. Look who it is. 56, Lawrence Taylor.
He strips the ball, and the NFC recovers, and they have the football back at their own 38-yard line.
Say, what else is new today for the AFC?
Things have not gone their way from the opening moments of this game. And Joe Montana comes back onto the field to quarterback the NFC. A little more than 11 minutes remaining to be played. And tippers have begun to flare just a little bit here. On first down, Montana, Cosby, and Cosby short of the first down out to the 47-yard line.
Take a look at the fumble. He had to slow down right here to avoid Ronnie Lott, and that gave Lawrence Taylor just what he needed to catch up. Lawrence Taylor, forever hustling, caused the fumble, something he's done a lot for the Giants over the last few years.
Well, you hit it right on the head. He never stops hustling. He played one of the great games I've ever seen a linebacker play in the Giants' final game against the Washington Redskins. And Lawrence has got all of his soap opera problems worked out with the other league, and that was a unbelievable situation that developed, but he's got that all worked out again. Second down and 1, and William Andrews left it there for a moment. He promptly plops on it. So the NFC maintains possession. It'll be third down and about 2 now.
I tell you what, this is an unusual year. When I played in the Pro Bowl, one thing we would always do, I recall my first or second game, Larry Little and Art Shell and Gene Upshaw would come up to me and say, hey, look out for the first-year player. That year, the first-year player on the defense was Jack Youngblood, and I think on the first time I carried the ball, all of a sudden the guy just about tears my head off, and he's wiggling all on top of me. I'm on the ground. I look up. It was Jack Youngblood, you know. This year, you got 33 first-timers, so it expected that the game would be a little emotional.
I didn't check, but I think that's the most that I can certainly recall. This is Walter Payton. He knew where he had to be for a first down, and he's up there very close to it. I think he might have it.
I remember looking at Jack. Jack was looking down and say, Jack, give your boy a break here, man. You know, we're just having fun out here.
It starts off that way. But again, I'll remind you, they are playing for $5,000 difference. The winning players and coaches get $10,000 for this game. The losing players and coaches, $5,000.
I thought Chuck Knox did the right thing in the beginning of the week. I thought his team would be real motivated, because what he did, he told all the wives and the player to allow their wives to go out and charge $5,000 worth of goods here. So he figured that would motivate the players late in the game. They got $5,000 of bills coming from the wives, and they would play. Didn't work.
Well, maybe Bill Waltz told him to go out and charge $10,000. You saw the indication. First down, NFC. 38 points, the new Pro Bowl record by the NFC. The old record, 37 points, and this one's not over.
It's only right. The AFC wins the Super Bowl. The NFC wins the Pro Bowl.
First down and 10, NFC. Andrews for 4. It'll be second down and 6. Another Hall of Famer. There were 4 of them announced yesterday. Let's take a look at Arnie Weinmeister. 2 years with the Yankees, but this was Arnie Weinmeister playing with the Giants in the early 50s. One of the great players ever to play this game. He only played 4 years with the Giants, 2 years with the Yankees. But he really impressed the people that do the voting. Here he is right now. Former teammate of mine, Lynn Swan, is with him.
Thank you. Arnie, can you tell us your feelings on being selected to the Hall of Fame?
Well, it's a terrific thrill for me, particularly since I've been out of the game for 30 years and have had the privilege of representing working people all over America on behalf of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. I certainly want to share this thrill with all of them. It's kind of the capper to my early career in life, and one that couldn't be matched anywhere, I'm sure, and I'm really proud of it.
Having played in 1948 to 1954, can you give us some perspective, your perspective on football and where it's going?
Well, I think since I left the game, one thing I see is that they're getting bigger and faster. The game is more technical, and of course, I don't think that anyone at the time that I played ever felt that it would become the extravaganza that it is today.
Congratulations, Arnie.
Thank you very much, Glenn.
Frank?
Arnie Weinmeister, one of the new Hall of Famers. You saw Dickerson a moment ago. This is William Andrews on a 3rd and 5, and he finds a big opening. Kenny Easley finally chases him out of bounds. But Andrew just exploded through a little gap, and he gets the first down for the NFC inside the 30-yard line.
You know, in listening to Weinmeister as we look at the replay, boy, he's so articulate, Frank, and there's so many guys off that giant team that's working in television, and they speak so well. Did you guys have a voice coach or something there?
I think it's just the proximity to the people that handle those sort of things in New York. I remember Arnie Weinmeister, though, when he was a great leader of our ball club. As I mentioned, he only played 4 years, but he was just the dominant defensive lineman when I came into the game. I was a rookie with Arnie. But Arnie Weinmeister, Willie Brown, Charlie Taylor, Mike McCormick, they are the new inductees, and you've met them all today. Montana gets the screen to Dickerson. And Dickerson, ever so quick, tried to break it back inside, saw a defender, turned it up, and makes about 7 yards out of it. I'd like to remind you, our telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. What you mentioned a moment ago about the Giants, O.J., we could be accused of that at USC. We've got the Trojan Triumvirate today. Len, O.J., and yours truly.
Fight on.
17 Pro Bowls between us.
Got about 6 guys out there playing today.
On 2nd down and 4, we watch Walter Payton, and Payton will have another NFC first down as we move inside 7 minutes remaining.
Oh, yeah. Producer and director, Mr. Goodrich, and Mr. What's that other guy's name? Sedaris, SMU boys.
All of them record holders.
And as I'm reminded, along with Eric Dickerson. Boring.
There he is, right there. Number 28, 1,808 yards as a rookie. Set an NFL record for numbers of carries. Over 2,000 yards of offense. Johnny Robinson liked to watch him run, so he let him run all year long.
I tell you what, he did a job of it.
First down, Walter Payton tries over the right side and gets inside the 15. Gain of almost 4.
Well, as I said earlier, I think because of that overdrive that he has and his natural running instinct, he's certainly the premier back of the future, but I know Herschel Walker's out there and Marcus Allen's out there. They wish they can play behind the type of offense that he has, and I think they would probably do as well.
So much depends upon the team you play with, the quality of the players you're surrounded by, and of course the coaching philosophy. 2nd down and 7. Payton got 3. Dickerson. Dickerson against the grain. He's dangerous that way. And Dickerson into the end zone, loses the football, but he had crossed the plane.
SMU, huh?
Eric Dickerson is showing the fans that still remain here in Aloha Stadium the kind of greatness that he provided for fans throughout the entire season in his rookie year.
Well, he's showing that he doesn't need John Robinson all the time.
This looks like student body left.
Yep. Now, this is step speed, just running over. These are defenses. Look at Kenny Easley is certainly no slow poke, and he didn't have a chance.
So Eric Dickerson puts it in the end zone again for the NFC. And whether or not Bill Walsh wanted it to happen, he got it no matter what. And Haji-Sheikh puts the 45th NFC point on the board. In one of the most upsetting routes that we have ever seen in Pro Bowl play.
In this Olympic year, United Airlines salutes the best friends an up-and-coming athlete could ever have, Mom and Dad.
Come run with me.
Time for practice, son.
Fly with me. Spread your wings and reach up to the sky with me.
united, we know how important it is to have a friend standing by you every step of the way. We are proud to be the official airline of the 1984 Olympic Games.
You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
You're across the aisle, second cabin.
Every night, Flight 207 is readied for its trip across the Atlantic. Bill loads 200,000 pounds of fuel. Ed makes sure there are enough meals on board. And the ground crew always manages to squeeze on the cargo. But tonight, it's carrying something more.
And Captain, all the Olympic team stuff's on board.
Tonight, they know Flight 207 is carrying our nation's hope. A hope that one day all nations will come to see that the true measure of the Olympics is not in the winning, but discovering the best in all of us.
Harry Dickerson just put on quite a show for the Pro Bowl fans watching here at Aloha Stadium and also across the country. And meanwhile, the AFC trying to get some self-respect back. They have a first down and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Bill Kenny fires over the middle of Todd Christensen, and Christensen, the #1 receiver in the NFL for the Raiders this season with 92 receptions, gets the first down out at the 43-yard line.
And did he have some big receptions this year? I tell you, many big third down receptions. You think with 92 receptions, they were just dropping the ball off to him, but I can tell you, week in and week out, he made the big catch and helped them win.
Great story, released by the Cowboys after being drafted as a running back, #2 in '77. Released by the Giants. As we watch Collinsworth, got 8 yards. And the Raiders picked him up. They moved him from running back to tight end, and he is the top receiving tight end in pro football as of today. And Mark Haynes of the Giants is shaken up a little bit on the sidelines.
Yeah, I think he had a little equipment problem. Something popped off his helmet there.
That's what it is. It's not any kind of an injury. So Everson Walls comes in to replace Mark Haynes at the corner spot. Second down and 2. Bill Kinney, who replaced an injured Dan Marino, is the quarterback now for the AFC. As we watch Tony Collins, who gets the first down and much more inside the 40 to the 38. And interestingly enough, O.J. was talking about this young man. He had the best average per carry in the NFL this season. 1,049 yards, but he averaged 4.8 per carry. And he had a couple of big games, 200-yarder, early in their year against the Jets. One of them, namely. 38-yard line, first down AFC. Collinsworth split up to the top of your screen. That's the time remaining in the game. Kenny tries a slant in to Collinsworth. He was pressured, Kenny was, and Collinsworth acquired double coverage. He got a linebacker dropping into his face, Hugh Green.
Well, there we are looking at Chuck Knox. I really think the difference is in this game is just Bill Walsh's coaching philosophy opposed to Chuck Knox. Bill, you know, this game is suited to him. It's wide open. Chuck, he likes that emotional type game. That's Bill Walsh there. He likes to put the ball on the ground, put that Rydell on the opponents, and his game is more suited to getting the guys emotionally geared. It's hard to get the guys psyched up for a game like this, and they want to have fun, and Bill Walsh's offense is a fun offense to play.
On second and 10, Kenny from the shotgun fires to Christensen over his outstretched hands. A couple of records have fallen. Certainly the number of points with the NFC scoring 45. We mentioned that a moment ago. Theisman has broken the completion record that Dan Fouts set a year ago. Theisman with 21 of 27 thus far, 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. Greg Pruitt has broken the Pro Bowl return yardage record for kicks and punts. He has 192 yards already on the day, the old record being 175. So the records are falling today. And the pride and the ego of a lot of AFC players has taken a pretty good shellacking. Third down and 10. Kinney gets it into Joe Cribbs, who is in a crowd. Lawrence Taylor was there, and he also attracted defensive back Dwight Hicks.
With Lawrence Taylor.
4th down now, and about 6 for the AFC. They're trying to keep it alive, gain some measure of respect. Carlos Carson now split left by Bill Kinney. Cris Collinsworth out to the right. Kinney drops into the shotgun. Kinney underneath once again, and I believe that will be yardage enough for a 1st down. Cribbs was the receiver. Lawrence Taylor was right with him, and it might require a measurement.
Yeah, you see Ricky Jackson there trying to tell him the ball was back a little farther. You know, 1st down.
Nope, it's 1st down, the AFC. Lynn Swan's on the sideline with William Andrews, a contender for MVP.
William, you set a Pro Bowl record, 2 touchdown catches. Did you think you'd be so impactful just in the passing today?
Well, Lynn, you know, this offense is sort of similar to the one we won in Atlanta, and it's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time. We were there, and at least I was there, and Joe was able to find me on both occasions, and turned out to be good.
Why is the NFC offense just dominating the game?
Well, I think the fact that, you know, we got so many players in key positions that are skilled at those positions and excellent at those positions. I think when we work together, come together, and put a heart in it, we can accomplish anything, and that's evident today.
Well, they have talent, too, so the obvious difference is the heart. You think there's more intensity with the NFC in this game than the AFC?
Well, I think the fact that there's a lot more guys here that want to win, and they are here to do so.
Well, you're certainly a winner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn.
Frank?
And it is. And meanwhile, we have the 2-minute warning being indicated at both benches. The AFC is faced with a 2nd down and 10. We'll be back in a moment.
Come on in, take a seat. We're gonna tell you what the big boys eat. Name is Wheaties, kick a wheat. Now you know what the big boys eat. Hello, milk, come on in. Jump in, berry, have a swim. Wheaties, Wheaties, not too sweet. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
Part of your good breakfast.
Airborne has moved ahead of the pack and is challenging Federal to a race. Now, Federal starts this race with a big lead, but with a staggering load of packages to carry every day. At Airborne, we're just the right size to give you great service and move fast. So fast that Airborne makes most of their deliveries before 10:30 a.m. No wonder more people are switching to Airborne than ever before. And no wonder we say, watch out, Federal, here comes Airborne.
U.S. national champions Kitty and Peter Carruthers are a sister-brother combination to be reckoned with in Sarajevo. They want gold. Starts February 6th on ABC.
An Olympic year here on ABC. I mentioned earlier my wife Astrid would be running and carrying the torch, the first woman to do so for the Foundation for Children with Learning Disabilities. O.J. Simpson will be running a kilometer with the torch this spring for the Boys Club.
Yeah, in the L.A. area.
And Bill Kinney has been running for his life. He is now looking at a 2nd down and 10, 1:55 remaining in the game. AFC trying to put points on the board, and Carson just a little long. Carlos Carson.
Yeah, he's been around it all day, but he just couldn't grab that ring.
Seats now starting to empty out here at Aloha Stadium. I remind you, viewers, that coming up next, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for Ripley's Believe It or Not. And on the West Coast, you'll see superstars.
Yeah, my man Marcus Allen's down there, huh?
They've got some great athletes down there. I've watched some of these football players participate in the superstars. Cris Collinsworth absolutely amazed me. Tony Dorsett, tremendous strength. Ray Pruitt came close to breaking the obstacle course record held by Lynn Swan. 3rd down and 10. Kinney overthrowing and is picked off by Mark Haynes. Kinney trying to get it to Duper, and here comes Haynes.
Here comes Cribbs.
And Cribbs collars Haynes, takes him out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
It's
so
Haynes, it's
everything
Cribbs.
that could go wrong has gone wrong for the AFC today. It's all over, except for the counting up of the extra 5,000 for the NFC.
The party the office was throwing for the personal computer was getting a little dull. It seemed compatibility was the problem, until one latecomer arrived with a stunning solution, the Sperry PC. It ran all IBM-compatible software and communicated with something a lot of people had in common, the main computer, Sperry's, IBM's, or both. The Sperry PC. It's what the personal computer should have been in the first place.
Introducing new Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more than any other gel. More lubricants. Better beard setup. More lubricants. Smooth takeoff. More lubricants. For the closeness and comfort you want in a shave, get new Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more.
Back in Honolulu, the most one-sided game that we have ever had. Joe Theismann has won the Dan McGuire Most Valuable Player Award, named after the late Dan McGuire, a sports writer here for the Honolulu Advertiser and a PR man for the 49ers. But Joe Theismann has won that MVP award, and a moment ago, Walter Payton, skirting the right end, got himself tied up, coughed up the football. Fred Smirlis was there, and the AFC has another chance to put points on the scoreboard. But I might point out, too, that Theismann had the most lopsided MVP vote of anyone since another MVP winner of a few years ago in 1973, and that was O.J. Simpson. Only one person voted against Theismann, and that was Joe Cribbs, getting inside the 20 for the AFC.
I thought you said Joe voted against him. Actually, being partial to running backs, I split my vote. Theismann, Andrews.
There's Joe Theismann. Very exuberant young man, right at the peak of his talent also. He'll have a word with you, too.
Was Cribbs just tagged by Ricky Jackson? I was talking about him earlier. This is the guy that constantly outperforms all the linebackers in tackles, but nobody ever heard of him.
On first down, Kenny. And overthrowing, trying to get it to Tony Collins. This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Bud Light. The best has a taste all its own, satisfying but never filling. So ask for Bud Light. So it's going to be time off for a lot of these players. It all began back in July in the heat of those two-a-days that O.J. and Lynn and I remember so well.
Yeah.
Winds up for the best of them in the NFL here in Honolulu in January. There have been great moments for many of them. There have been sad moments for some. Bill Kenny on 2nd and 10. This is Mark Duper, and they say he trapped it. Incomplete.
Well, the key is that they're here. And when you consider some of the great players that are not here, guys like Keith Farnhorst, offensive tackle that did so well for the 49ers, Jacob Green, Billy Sims, Marcus Allen, Lance Mill, it's a privilege and an honor to be here, and there's a lot of guys who deserve to be here, but you only can have so many ball players. Maybe next year.
Once again, they are voted here by the head coaches of the various teams and the players. They take the vote. You can't vote for your own teammates, and the coaches vote counts for one on each team, and the combined players of that team, their vote counts as one. So that's how they got here. 3rd down and 10. Kenny once again in the shotgun. Kenny trying to get it to Duper, and Duper was covered so well by Everson Walls. I'd like to thank our stats and graphic man, Steve Hurt, and Joe Cox. They were busy today in this lopsided victory by the NFC. And of course, I spotted Steve Bazika recovering from his broken paw on an icy fall in his hometown of Canton, Ohio, where we'll be next July 28th to watch the induction of the 4 members of the Hall of Fame that you met today: Willie Brown, Charlie Taylor, Mike McCormick, and Arnie Weinmeister. Our congratulations to them.
Well, let me take a little time here to thank you, Gifford, and my first year on Monday Night Football, Howard and Dandy Don, wherever you are. It's been educational for me, and it's been a lot of fun.
We've had a lot of interesting games.
Yeah, much like this one.
On 4th down, trying to go to Kellen Winslow, incomplete. And the NFC will get the ball back, and Mark Haynes and Winslow are both a little slow getting up, along with Mark Murphy. Very tight down here. This is a baseball park during the baseball season. And the corner of that end zone is very tight to the dugout. And there's Dan Fouts, who explained to Lynn Swan that it wasn't his fault that he could not get out of the grasp of the on-rushing defense of the NFC.
As he was saying goodbye.
Well, Lynn made quite a friend, I think, out of Dan.
Way to go, Swanee.
Dan Fouts, he holds so many NFL records, all the Charger records in passing. And one has to hope that the Chargers will rebound from their 6-10 disappointing season. And once suspects into Don Coryell, they will. Walter Payton is the acting quarterback. That will go into the record book. Walter Payton, 0 attempts, 0 completions. Time is running out. The players congratulating themselves, and the NFC has tied it up. They will win the $10,000 per man. We'll be returning in just a moment.